This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, October 27th. We got to hump day. That's good. I'm here with Erica and Al. I'm Tori. How y'all doing?
All right.
Good. Do I have chocolate in my teeth? Because Al's been supplying us with trick-or-treating candy.
You're making us fat, Al.
Yeah.
You're making us all fat.
Quick confession that I took that from the box that we give to the Amazon drivers. Yeah, no, I got to replenish it when I get home. I'm sorry. It was in my face. It was a take five.
Yeah, take five. All right. Well, we've got a quick update on this story we've been following about the shooting, of course, on Alec Baldwin's movie Rust that killed the cinematographer Helena Hutchins. So the gaffer, or the electrician on the film, who you see here alongside Helena, is talking about the incident on Facebook. He says he worked with her on almost all of her films and said he held her in her arms, his arms, while she was dying. He also posted this picture saying it is the last photo with Helena on set. You can see Alec in the background. This is the scene they were just filming in the church. Remember, right before the shooting. Wow. The district attorney of New Mexico commented on the ongoing investigation, telling the New York Times that criminal charges are possible and that authorities haven't ruled anything out. I also got an update on this man. He is a veteran prop master. His name is Neil Zaromsky. He turned down the role of prop master because he said they offered it as an armorer and a prop master in one, and he would never take a job like that. He said that Rust was too much of a, quote, slapdash production, one with an overriding focus on saving money instead of a concern for people's safety. Ultimately said, I pressed that send on that email saying I didn't want the job, and in my pit of my stomach, I said, this is an accident waiting to happen.
I mean, it makes sense, Erica. I mean, as somebody that's, you know, I've worked on shows where I've hosted things before, and, you know, I think about not the Alec Baldwin's, he's fine financially, but a lot of shows that I did where I was scared to do something, like I had to do something in Jamaica with alligators I was not comfortable with. I had to jump off of something in Vegas I was not comfortable with. I later found out it wasn't a great idea. But there's things that you do, especially kind of where internet's over everything, where you're like, I needed this because this is roof money.
Yeah.
So
right.
I think about how many people didn't have the luxury to push send and say, I don't want this job, because they had to take that job.
Yeah, you know, this is just so hard to hear, because when you think about, you know, the account of holding her while she died, the fact that he had worked on every project together, like, this is residual trauma for everyone who's involved. And when you hear this, like you said, it's not surprising that people are coming forward and saying, you know, if you're someone who, you know, is a seasoned veteran person and you're saying this is an accident waiting to happen, what's now your next? Because I guarantee this person has lost sleep over the idea of maybe not blowing the whistle if there was a whistle to blow.
Right.
So, you know, I think at this point, when we're talking about things that that can result in fatalities, there should not be an option to do it on a shoestring budget. And I think that's where we are right now.
That's exactly where we are. We did want to let you know, there was it the DA, Michael Dean, that we heard from? They found a mix of live and blanks, 500 rounds of ammunition.
The saddest thing is, it seems like from everything that's leaking out that people knew. It wasn't just like a mistake and this just happened.
They walked off the set.
This was happening in real time, and this was just the culmination of what seems to be a series of events that started with the hiring process.
Yeah, the whole thing is interesting. Let us know what you guys think on YouTube or our app or dailyblastlive.com. All right, Halloween is this weekend. Woo!
Yay!
Anyone? Woo! Right here at DBL, we are celebrating this Friday. Okay. We are all dressing up, so be sure to tune in to see who we are. We're so excited about this. But speaking of dressing up, some elementary schools in upstate New York are banning Squid Game Halloween costumes. One of the principals sent a letter explaining that costumes like these are banned due to concerns about the potential violent nature of the game. Now, in the hit Netflix show, contestants compete in children's games like Red Light, Green Light for a large cash prize, but their lives are on the line. So what are your thoughts on kids dressing up in costumes games from violent TV shows or movies. Just to give you more info and context, the kids were playing Squid Game at this school, red light, green light, children's games that are appropriate, but they were playing it as Squid Games. They also have banned Friday the 13th, the Scream mask, and like Freddy Krueger.
Anything else from the early 90s?
Anything that's scary, they're banning. So what do you guys think? I think this is crazy. Am I wrong? I'm not a parent.
Erica, talk to me, and then I'll tell you what my opinion is.
Well, I'm not a parent either, but we have a host of niece, nephews, and godchildren. And at first, when I heard the story, I was like, well, that seems a little ridiculous that they're doing a specific franchise.
Right.
But then the truth is that most schools will not allow Halloween costumes that have come from violent imagery or violent, franchises and stuff. I think the interesting thing about Squid Games, too, is that costume, if you didn't know the show, wouldn't be inherently something that you'd be like, oh, that should be banned.
Right.
So I think that might be the reason why that's getting a little bit more attention than like. I couldn't think of anything other than Freddy Krueger.
That's all I think. I'm so bad with it.
Welcome to Dated References.
Michael. What's his name? Michael?
Michael Myers?
Michael Myers.
Okay, yeah. I honestly just think we're talking about this, and the fact that we're talking about us lets us know that the kids are on something else. Like we're old, like the stuff we think we know about, we don't. All right, so like whatever they're actually doing, whatever they're actually into, they probably have another account that shows that they probably have things on their computer to prevent you from finding what they're looking at. So the fact that we're wasting time on Squid Game, they're like, you would really freak out if you knew what I was really
Okay, Boomer. Can I ask you a question, though? Would you let your kids dress up as Squid Game?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Let us know what you guys think.
Telling kids no does not work. You need to reason with them and be like, this is my thought behind this.
Interesting.
And this is why. But telling them no, they're like, all right, I'll see you Saturday night when you go to sleep, old man. Yeah.
Okay, keeping with this theme about kids, some moms are upset with the company doing school photos for their kids because they say they're encouraging parents to pay $12 to have their kids' photos digitally retouched. One mom posted this before and after photo. Oh man, they took off her freckles.
Well, also, is that the same kid?
Yeah, it's the 12-year-old kid's freckles were removed in the touched-up photo. Another mom told the New York Post, quote, it's teaching kids that they need to look perfect all the time and that they can change with the click of a mouse.
Well, first of all, you are perfect with your freckles because that's how you were made, okay?
Yes.
But that's ridiculous. Now, I personally am not against retouching children's photos because y'all have all seen the photos of the kids before and after, like the way they were sent to school for picture day and the way they return home. And like if pictures are a little later in the day, then there's a lot that happens after PE or whatever they're doing.
Right.
That parents are like, I didn't spend all this money for you to look like you just rolled out of bed. I personally would have appreciated some retouching on my pictures from school because being one of the only like less than 10 children of color in my school, I always had pictures come back with a full mustache because the lighting was so off.
Wow.
So yeah, I would have appreciated that. But when you're taking actual characteristics and things off of children's faces, that's not a good look.
I just looked at it like lazy editing. Honestly, like that was just like 100%. They moved the bar all the way over. Like, look, you can retouch a little bit, but Erica, I like the crazy pictures. The crazy pictures from school, the half eye blink,
the mullet,
the look away, the like you can tell they started crying a millisecond before like those are the ones you keep forever. So I get the little retouching, but I don't want perfect kid pictures. That's weird.
I agree. And let me just say this out loud. A girl or boy without freckles is like a day without sunshine. Coming up on DBL. What?
That's not a saying, but you laid it out like you were Langston Hughes.
I have it on a pillow.
It's not. No one's ever said that.
I've seen it on a pillow. I've seen it on a pillow. Our interview with celebrity, it's on a pillow. Celebrity trainer Gunnar Peterson, he's telling us how the stars stay and fit at home and how you can too. And a new study reveals men are just as emotional as women. And we're going to chat about that coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
I had this weird thing the other day. You remember like there used to be like when we were kids, you would hear people say, oh, my mom or my dad caught me doing this, or I got Like, you don't hear kids saying
They
that.
don't get caught, you think?
I don't think they get caught doing anything.
Oh, man.
Because most parents, I think, are, like, I think we consider ourselves, like, internet savvy, but not to a 15-year-old that's grown up with it. So, like, they have fake accounts, they have dummy accounts, they have email addresses, they cover their cookies, however you do that.
They cover their cookies.
Yeah, I mean, but, like, you just don't, you really hear people say, yeah, I caught my daughter doing this.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure your daughter has Instagram, but then she's got to fence stuff.
And
But
just tell me
here's
my ear,
the
just
thing,
play it by
though.
ear. We'll just dance.
You may not hear people saying, I caught my child doing X, Y, and
Kelly,
Z, but by the time they are caught, it's
they
so
put up
much
the poll
more
too quick.
egregious
It only took
than
like a second, and now-
anything that we
Yeah.
grew up with.
On YouTube. They
Because
can't get back
they're
into it, so people
masterminds
are
at
saying
that
it's
point.
the window is too
So
quick.
I think, yeah, if you have a situation where I would definitely have like some type of, if I had children, a cyber security something. I mean, we have one anyway, but I would have it like to
Right.
make sure that
You have to, because you can't just be like, look, I look at Erica's profile, it's her picking flowers. It's like, that might not be her only. People are like, you can do that?
Some comments.
Yeah, it's
y'all down with the sparkling water because
I've been looking
Love
at
the
it.
poll.
I went to Target yesterday on a sparkling water run and got a bunch of new flavors.
That's nice of you.
They didn't have any Topo Chico.
Really?
Yeah, it's getting
I've
to
been
the point.
hearing there's a shortage.
It's a shortage.
Everyone and their mother is into Topo Chico.
And I had a ton of grapefruit too.
Why is it so good?
hard seltzer Topo Chico.
No, I saw a guy walking down the street
Why
with
is
a hard
it
seltzer
that
one.
good? Sierra, you
I don't
have it
drink.
as well?
Yes.
Isn't it just seltzer?
Thanks, Trey.
But isn't it just like any other seltzer?
Yeah, but you can mix it with anything you want, so it doesn't have like.
I also think hard seltzer.
Miss a day of DBL. I am here to receive said gift. Bold debates. Come on now. Enough.
Get real.
It blows my mind.
Hot celebs.
Happy 5th anniversary.
Love a suit, by the way.
Thank you.
Seriously, Al, give her a break. That just sounded weird, actually.
And all the laughs. Yes, Erica, feeling it. Okay, I'm done with you. I'm done. DBL is always all new every day.
Al slays me. Welcome back to DBL. So who do you think are more emotional, men or women? Quick. What do you
Men.
think? Whoa, interesting.
I really do think that.
All right, well, a new study agrees with you from the University of Michigan, Go Blue, alma mater, found out that men are just as emotional as women. They followed a group of 142 men and women over 75 days. They found little to no emotional differences between male and female groups. And of course, this is always why women can't be president, women can't be politicians, because they get emotional, they get on their period, and they start a war. But all wars, most of them have been started by men in the first place.
I won't say all of them have. Yeah.
So how do you feel about this, hearing this study?
I mean, I'd look at what I can see, as corny as that sounds. And I'd look at, especially morning TV, you look at ESPN, Erica, I don't know if we can mention their shows. They have shows like First Take and their debate shows. It's not sports. They're not talking about rebounds and all. They're talking about, is Tom Brady mad at Bill Belichick? Will LeBron James feel some type of way about going back to Cleveland and playing? Those are emotions. Those men are crying at the end of games. Have you ever watched a Packers fan watch a game? You're dressed like one.
All right.
It's like men are throwing shoes. Guys are yelling at the screen.
Yeah.
Some guys got to watch it in the basement.
But we don't call it being emotional when it comes to men. We call that passion.
Fired up.
We only call it emotional when it comes to women. And then also, a lot of men are emotionally stunted. So it doesn't come out as like the soft, like vulnerability. It comes out a lot of times as aggression.
Right.
And to be honest, I don't find that to be any fault of anyone personally. I find it to be society's fault for having boys never cry or examine their emotions. So, no, I am not surprised that men are just emotional, if not more emotional.
And I just had another thought as you were talking. Take a show that's, air quotes, aimed at women like The Bachelor, Bachelorette, which are supposed to be emotional, but I would say that show is more strategic. It's more about like, okay, I'm not the number one girl, so we need to buddy up, get her out of here, and then our group can maybe move in.
There's no emotions in The Bachelor.
It's very tactical.
Yeah, there's no emotion.
But
it's
you
under
see
the guys.
Bachelorette,
Right.
the guys are like throwing things, jumping over buildings.
Remember he jumped over the railing?
You can do it all sorts
That guy
of
jumped
crazy-
the fence.
Yeah.
We're like, now I will also say the word hysteria, if you guys don't know, which is interesting, I researched this, comes from like hysterectomy, women's reproductive parts. So emotional language is based off of language
Literally, yeah.
that comes from women's productive parts saying you're hysterical coming from your Latin parts. I think that's so interesting, the way language is used, don't you?
Tell us more about our Latin parts.
I was about
Tori.
to say, it's a weird way to go. Right at the end, we just dive into a Latin lesson.
Go Packers! Coming up on DBL, fitness trainer to the stars Gunnar Peterson joins us. He tells you how you can stay fit at home like your favorite celebrities.
When it comes to mass shootings, there is no universally accepted definition of a mass shooting. Different agencies define it based on different criteria. USA Today reports from 2006 to 2018, Idaho and Hawaii were the only states in the country to not have a mass shooting. But how did they determine that? What constitutes as a mass shooting? And does Monday's deadly mall shooting change those findings? Let's verify. Our sources are the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Congressional Research Service, and the Violence Project, as well as news magazine Mother Jones. The Congressional Research Service defines mass shootings as a multiple homicide incident in which 4 or more victims are murdered with firearms, not including the offender or offenders within one event. The FBI definition is essentially the same. The agency defines a mass shooting as any incident in which at least 4 people are murdered with a gun. Mother Jones tracks mass shootings in a national database using FBI data dating back to 1982. But Mother Jones also includes attacks dating from January 2013, in which 3 or more victims were killed. This after President Obama authorized a mandate lowering that baseline to 3 or more victims killed for federal investigations of mass shootings. Additional criteria for mass shootings state the shootings happen in a single location that is considered a public place. So while Monday's deadly shooting at the Boise Town Square Mall won't be logged as a mass shooting, based on this criteria, it will forever be seen and felt as a tragedy here in Idaho.
Welcome back to DBL. From Charlize Theron to Billy D. Williams, he's trained some of the biggest celebs in the biz. Hollywood trainer Gunnar Peterson joined us earlier and gave us his at-home workout tips. Check it out.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, when this madness clears up, I'm coming down there. We're all getting after it.
Yes.
I'm here.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I'm excited until he's like, all right,
we're
10
gonna
burpees, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Hold you to that, Gunnar. Yes, we are. So you gotta give us the inside tips that keep celebs fit at home. How can our viewers stay in shape in their living rooms?
They have to be consistent with it. I don't care where you're doing it. If you're taking yourself to the woodshed or if you're in your living room, you just have to be consistent. A little bit all the time is so much better than a lot every now and then.
Wow.
If they're consistent, that's what the big names do.
Who goes to the woodshed?
That means like going after it.
Oh, I thought,
Like,
I thought
what happens in the woodshed?
I thought people had like makeshift gyms in a woodshed.
Oh, Sam. Literal
Gunnar,
Sam.
I apologize. I'm very literal.
Sorry, I didn't know it was literal hour. My bad.
Wow. I'm glad we have a fitness expert here because I've always wondered this about presidents. Obviously, The Rock is talking about running for president, and I'm wondering what you would give his workout routine if he was the president every day. But also, what workout routine would you give like a president that's like in his late 60s and stressed and busy, but you know he's still the president? You got to work out, right?
What a
He
weird
does,
question.
and I think they do. I mean, I think Obama was a notorious workout
sir.
guy, and George W. was a runner, and they all have their stress relieving moments. And I think if Dwayne Johnson wants to run for president, I'm not getting in his way. And I would say is whatever he's doing now is working just fine for his workouts. And if there's somebody else you said coming in a little older, I put them, you know, it's a walk before, literal and figurative. It's a walk before you run mentality. Gear up and just be consistent with it. That's what's going to get you there for everybody.
Would you vote for him? You know him. Do you think he'd be a good candidate, or do you think he should stick to acting?
Hey, so here's an interesting rule I have in the gym. We don't talk politics or religion. I let you run with it, and I just go, no problem. Great idea. Interesting. Hadn't thought of that. But I would never commit to that.
That's
But I vote
smart.
for it.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Really sorry.
I like how he broke down literal and figurative.
Just for Sam.
Yeah, I need it. Sorry.
All right, we got to talk about stereotypical body types. I'm more of an apple, you know, like pears and apples. But there's certain ones portrayed in Hollywood: the popping blood vessels, the enormous muscles.
Excuse me?
I know it's in the prompter. We want to know, what do you think the ideal body type is? Is there one, Gunnar?
So I would say this. If you're happy with how you look, you're winning. And I've seen people who they have, let's just use the PC term, less than an ideal physique, who are in love with themselves. They love their body. They use the mirrors more than any other equipment in the gym. And I think I've seen other people who are dialed, what anybody else would consider a perfect body, who are always trying to reshape, tweak, improve. I think the other person who's happy is winning. I think if you're, not that you have to be complacent, but I think if you're comfortable in your own skin, then you're winning long term. And
I
so,
love that.
you know, what's that look like to you? And if you want those bulging and all that stuff, we can work on dialing that in.
That looked good on you, Tori.
I think so.
All right, Gunnar. Let's talk about your new venture, Lung Zone. Tell us about the program and how people can get involved.
So I'm here on behalf of Santa Fe and Regeneron, and there's joinlungzone.com, which is specifically geared towards people with moderate to severe asthma, and it gives you a place, gives you a community to go. I have some get moving classes on there, which fun, definitely a way to get into fitness and to get back into fitness. We're at that literal and figurative walk and run thing. There are also strength movements incorporated in that, because you have to incorporate the strength with the cardio, with the flexibility, stability. All these things have to dovetail into a comprehensive workout program, and this is a great place for people to go and use the resources there, so they don't feel, look, getting on a fitness program for anybody with or without asthma can be daunting. So here's a place for people, imagine with asthma, it's even a little more so. Here's a place where they can go and know that they're being led by people who have factored in their condition, and they're gonna come out on the other side of this in a big way.
I love that.
That's unbelievable.
I know.
That is unbelievable.
Gunnar, you fit right in here. You really do. Thanks for chatting with us. And to our viewers, if you have moderate to severe asthma and are looking for exercise routines, check out joinlungzone.com to put your lungs first. Thank you so much, Gunnar. We'll be right back.
Thanks, brother.
Wow.
Thank you, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
programs have launched or are about to start in Arlington and Alexandria. Even DC has looked at it, so let's get you familiar with Universal Basic Income. To understand Universal Basic Income, or UBI, we went to Ben Gittes, an associate director from the Bipartisan Policy Center's Economic Policy Project. We went to Elaine Mogg, a researcher from the Tax Policy Center at the Urban Institute, and then several studies on UBI in the real world. So first, what is Universal Basic Income?
So basic income is the idea that every person in the country will have some standard of living provided to them.
So instead of having a number of different programs folks would go to, there would be one check that goes out to every single person. That would be their source of federal or government support.
The idea is that universal basic income could soften the burden of the rising costs of living in the United States and actually encourage more work. Which is another question a lot of people ask. Wouldn't that just discourage people from working if they're getting free money? Here our experts disagree. Ben Gittes says UBI's goal is to get more people into the workforce and build careers, but
universal basic income at best does not help us achieve those objectives because we're simply giving people money.
While Elaine Mogg sees something else.
In Stockton, they found actually the benefit encouraged people to go to work even though it wasn't based on work.
Which leads us to, does it work? Currently, the largest study was a 2-year program in Stockton, California. Here, the city gave an extra $500 a month to 125 residents for 2 years.
And what they found is that people who got the full benefit were more likely to increase the work hours.
But
there haven't been really any large-scale implementations of a universal basic income that would be insightful for U.S. federal policy. for implementing that.
Which is why the pilot programs in Arlington, Alexandria, and now Montgomery County will be so important going forward. Today, the city of Chicago will be voting on one of the largest universal basic income programs. If it passes, 5,000 families will get an extra $500 a month. But as you heard our experts explain, that's the only way to really see if these programs work, because everything else is theoretical until it hits the real world. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
Welcome back to DBL. It's open enrollment season, and signing up for healthcare does not have to be confusing. It's time for some helpful healthcare tips presented by Health Markets, your insurance marketplace. So HMOs and PPOs are two types of popular health plans. HMO plans tend to have a strict network of providers that your insurance will cover, while PPO plans will cover costs of out-of-network providers. Deductible and premiums are separate costs that come out of your pocket. Premiums are the monthly payment that you have to make for your plan, and the deductible is the maximum out-of-pocket expenses that you're responsible for before your insurance kicks in. So finding a plan with a lower deductible could save you a lot of money. Health Markets can help you find a plan in minutes. Just call 1-800-390-9633 or log on to healthmarkets.com. Good to know. Before we go, though, you have to see this. The CEO of Spanx, I love this woman, celebrated selling a majority stake of her company for $1.2 billion by giving her staff 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world. But that ain't all. Take a look.
You know, if you go on a trip, you might have to, you might want to go out to a really nice dinner. You might want to go out to a really nice hotel. And so, with everybody's 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world, you are each getting $10,000.
Bosses?
Yes.
Are we getting that?
I love that. You know, people need to feel like they're appreciated and they're looked out for. I mean, if I had my own company and I have a tiny company, I try to treat people who work for me well.
Erica for president.
And she also created Spanx in her basement. That's how amazing this woman is. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Recommending boosters for millions of people, prompting one big question: which one should I get? Enter the internet, trying to solve that question. A graphic has been circulating on social media ranking the 3 boosters for each of the vaccines. So let's verify, is this graphic based on real data? And what does it show about which boosters we should get? Our sources are the CDC, a study from the National Institute of Health, and these 2 medical experts. First, we can confirm that the data is real. It's based on this study from the NIH, which looked at 458 people, split into 9 groups. Each group had some combination of the 3 vaccines and 3 boosters. And the numbers referenced in that tweet show what's called the geometric mean fold rise.
Geometric fold rise refers to the level of antibodies that are measured after you get a vaccine. So anytime you boost, you're going to get a rise in antibody. They're going to rise 2-fold, 3-fold, whatever it might be.
And according to this data, it's clear there was a much bigger response to mRNA boosters. Our experts say that's especially the case for those who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. In that study, their antibodies jumped 4.6-fold after getting a J&J booster, but they jumped 32.8-fold for a Pfizer booster and 56.1-fold for a Moderna booster.
So clearly, J&J followed by one of the mRNA vaccines gives you a higher antibody level than if it were followed by J&J itself.
As for those who received an mRNA vaccine, meaning Moderna or Pfizer, our experts say that so far the data shows sticking with an mRNA booster is the way to go. Now we should note this is preliminary data, and the study itself points out that there are some limitations, including a small sample size. Also,
here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Squid Game is a violent smash hit on Netflix, but should schools ban Halloween costumes from the show? A mom is outraged by her 12-year-old school photos being digitally altered. Is retouching photos only appropriate for adults? Can Chrissy Tegan make a cancel club comeback after her cyberbullying controversy?
I feel like I've done the work, and I just hope these people can, forgive.
And from a $5,000 vase to a $1,200 candle holder, wait till you see what's in Paris Hilton's wedding registry.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll. Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, October 27th. I'm Sam here with my friends Al, Jeff, and Erica. So we do have a quick update on the story that we have all been following about the shooting on Alec Baldwin's movie Rust that killed the cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. The gaffer on the film, who you see here alongside Halyna, is talking about the incident on Facebook. He says he worked with her on almost all of her films and said he held her in his arms while she was dying. He also posted this picture saying it is the last photo on set with Halyna. You can see Alec in the background. This is the scene they were filming in the church just before the shooting. So there was a press conference earlier this morning, and they released some new details about the investigation. Take a listen.
Through the execution of search warrants, we have collected about 600 items of evidence. These include, but are not limited to, 3 firearms, approximately 500 rounds of ammunition, and several pieces of clothing and accessories. We believe that we have in our possession the firearm that was fired by Mr. Baldwin.
All options are on the table at this point. I'm not commenting on charges, whether they will be filed or not, or on whom. No one has been ruled out at this point.
Wow. So New Mexico is definitely on top of this investigation, and they're going to get to the bottom of it, according to them. Jeff, I didn't get to hear a lot of your opinions on this. Like, we had Cam on the show, who you love, Cam Matheson on the show. He talked about being an actor and being on set. I know that your experience as an actor, have you ever experienced any of this? Apparently there was live ammunition mixed with the blanks all over the set that they found.
It's crazy. Being on set, and again, the movies that I do are very low budget, right? This is an Alec Baldwin movie. The ones I'm in, I shot one during COVID. There was such protocol. SAG was there every day. We had it before we went on to set. We had to get tested, sit there. This is a low budget film, right? If you have kids on set, there's someone there to watch it. If you have animals on set, someone is specifically there to handle that animal. I don't know how it got to this point that there's 500 rounds of ammunition. A gun went off apparently even before this one. It's like, where is SAG? Where's the union? Where are the people looking after these firearms, the specialists that are supposed to be looking after this? Is this necessarily her job? I don't think so.
I mean, whenever there's a profit motive and you have a budget, your job is to try and cut corners to increase your profit as much as possible. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is probably the motivation for why we had people that were inexperienced, people that were not union, people that should not have been in a position that they were in. And they acted like it. Things were left out. Live ammunition is mixed with blanks, which seems crazy, but it's what happens when you have inexperienced people doing anything. If you had me running a neighborhood pool, I don't know, I can barely swim. Like that, it would be clear in a couple days that I shouldn't have been there. And this is what happened here. We saw incident after incident. People were leaving Erica, and this is the culmination.
Honestly, I'm just like, at this point, this don't make no damn sense. It really doesn't. I mean, the idea that you're like, even have live ammunition on the set. How many people, how many actors who have worked with any type of firearms would have had that type of comfort to know that live ammunition is even around? Like, what would be the reason for live ammunition to even be on the set or in the proximity of a set? Like, there are just so many egregious I wouldn't even say missteps. It's negligence at this point.
So do you think criminal charges will be filed?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
All right.
So if they're not, what's the situation would be? If it's not this situation,
I guarantee you there will be.
There has to be.
I know. We'll continue to follow that story. Okay, switching gears here. We all know that Halloween is this weekend, and guess what? Right here at DBL, we're going to be celebrating Halloween here in the studio this Friday. We're all going to dress up. So you guys have to make sure you tune in to see who each of us are. They're good. Like, I mean, the costumes are
I was really surprised at how good they are.
Oh, they're going to be so good. So make
really
sure that you tune in on Friday. Speaking of dressing up, some elementary schools in upstate New York are banning Squid Game Halloween costumes. So one of the principals sent a letter explaining that costumes like these are banned due to concerns about the potential violent nature of the game. So in case you don't know, in the hit Netflix show, contestants compete in children's games like red light, green light for a large cash prize. But guess what? Their lives are on the line. So what are your thoughts on kids dressing up in costumes from violent TV shows or movies? What do you think about this, Jeff?
Here's what I think. We need to stop coddling everybody. That's what I need to think. We have video games where you could blow people's head off, chop them in half, but we say that doesn't affect children because it's a huge market, right? How is one day out of the year dressing up like somebody, whether it be Michael Myers or whoever it may be, a problem? We have to coddle everybody in America to say, like, this is wrong and now maybe we should just take it off the market. That's not going to change people's behaviors. They're still going to act how they act. Whether you dress up one day like this, I just think it's going a little bit too far. But I see the concern, but it's too far for me.
I think you're right. I mean, we're talking about one day or every single day. I don't play video games at all, but we rented Mortal Kombat, the new one.
Oh my gosh, I loved Mortal Kombat.
I didn't know, because I'm an older gentleman, that the fatality scenes have changed. But like I did one, like when you
from back in the day.
Yeah, they're not like very mellow Nintendo anymore.
Whoa.
When I did the fatality move, I was just practicing.
Yeah.
I lunged for Ford and tried to cover his eyes because it was so graphic.
But they were always graphic.
But the graphics are 10 times better, 20 times better than when we were growing up. So it's violent. And so if he can see that every day, that was in March. So now what, just October 31st, we're locking it down?
YouTube, you could see the most horrific things in the whole world. But don't put a costume out that might represent something. For me, it's too much.
Do you think it's too much, Erica? I almost called you Ari.
I like that.
Well, that's what you got your sister, Erica.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have children, but I have a host of niece and nephews and godchildren. And at first, I was very confused by this because I'm like, why are they singling out a single franchise like Squid Game? But the truth is, in most schools, you can't dress as violent characters, and a big part of that has to do with the acts that come along with being dressed up in violent characters. Apparently, this school had an issue with the kids actually playing out scenes from Squid Game.
Yes.
So, I mean, that costume obviously doesn't look inherently violent, but if they're also putting actions behind it, I can understand why they would say they're going to add it to the list.
Yeah, I think this is a very specific situation, but I totally agree with you.
While their moms pick them up in their dirty nurse costumes, I'm like, don't dress my kid like that. Okay, easy fishnet.
Easy fishnet. We're going to go to the next story after easy fishnet.
Keeping up with the theme about kids. So some moms are upset, and dads. Why is it always got to be the moms? I'm sure dads are upset too. With the company doing school photos for their kids, they say they're encouraging parents to pay $12 to have their kids' photos digitally retouched. So one mom posted this before and after, showing how her 12-year-old son's freckles were removed in the touched-up photo. Another mom told the New York Post it's teaching kids that they need to look perfect all the time and that they can change with the click of a mouse. I would be furious. I get that at least they're putting it in the consent of the parents. I still think it's wrong. But I know that in the past, we've seen schools kind of do this on their own without any consent from the parents.
Sure.
Creepy.
I could have used some digital retouching, especially how bad the lighting was being one of... there were less than 10 children of color in my school, and the lighting was so horrific. My mustache was deeper than my dad's by the time that it got to the yearbook. So I think
you can compare the two. I think shame on that school for not having proper lighting for the diversity of their children. But I don't like the idea of then taking an image and then erasing freckles or narrowing a nose. That's what's happening at this school. The parents can decide to narrow their children's noses.
But I don't think that I look at it the other way. I thought this was just lazy editing. They just put the full blowout where they just took all the imagery from
There shouldn't be any editing on children.
It says you, and I agree. But I think a lot of parents would be like, hey, can you take the peanut butter off my kid's face?
That's
like
different.
Other parents want their kids to look differently.
Taking something that can easily be removed, like because they ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich compared to
I'm saying I don't want any editing.
I think
that's over the top.
But that's what's happening at this school.
I don't even think they were even doing that. They were just like, they just blew the face out so there was nothing on it. It looked worse. I like the freckles.
With that?
I'm furious that they have an upcharge for this. It should come with the package.
Exactly. Fix my kid for $12.
All right, we'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
So in all seriousness, I don't think, I mean, it should be up to the parent. I'm not into Photoshop, but Erica made a really good example of why maybe there should be. For me, if my kid has something on his face or his teeth are messed up because he lost his tooth that morning, or he has a swollen lip, whatever it may be, I want those memories. I want that. Like, hey, remember when you were 3? Everyone looks back at pictures and you're like, look at your hair. My mom cut it like that.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, I want those photos. And again, I want to keep them innocent as long as you can, because they're going to get into this digital world with filters and things like that. And little kids, unless there's a reason, like you said, you gave a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, leave it alone.
Yeah, I think for my point was with the lighting and not having people who are able to deal with diverse skin tones and all of that. Like, there were some things that I absolutely should have had retouching for. But when it comes to the actual characteristics that the child is born with, even though I may have had a little bit of a mustache, it didn't have to be that dark, okay? It didn't.
Erica, I was going to say this. I think for as much as we attack Instagram and things like that, I do think Instagram has shown, like literally through numbers of followers, that people that have kind of a diverse look, people like that. I mean, obviously there's the Ashley Grahams and the plus size models, but also there are models that have like heavy freckles, and it's like it's a really cool look. It is a really people cool with vitiligo. I saw a Gap ad years ago. It was a young woman, like 12, with vitiligo. Yeah, and it looked awesome. So I do think Instagram, for as bad as it's done with some things, has highlighted the fact that other people look different, and clearly, just by the numbers, people like it.
It's a really good point.
Yeah, but then why cover it up, though?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think it was just lazy.
Let people. I love those photos of like the up close older actors where you can see like every wrinkle, you know, and that's just like
it looks
it's
like life in their face.
Yeah, I love those photos. I think they're so cool. You know, like when you.
Welcome back to DBL. So who do you guys think is more emotional, men or women?
Men.
Erica Cobb. A new study from the University of Michigan found that men are just as emotional as women. They followed a group of 142 men and women over 75 days, and they found little to no emotional differences between male and female groups. Erica Cobb, take it away.
I do believe that men are as emotional, if not more emotional, than women. We just call it passion. But we also, I mean, men have not been allowed to show emotion from the time that they were very young, and that's something that society's trying to correct. So we see it in very different ways. It might come out as aggression or passion, or things that when we talk about women, it's seen as weakness and vulnerability.
I totally agree. I have a lot of passion. That you said that right. You said that right. But I also have emotion. Ever since my kids were born, Jordan, my wife, will even tell you, I cry more than her. Like there's a commercial, like Snuggle the Bear will come on and rub his blanket. And I'm like, oh man, it's so cute, Snuggles. Like I'll cry. And she's like turned cold. She's like, get over it. You know, it's like we switch roles.
It's so true, bro. Since we're talking about, I cried this weekend. I was waiting. Elijah he's at the age where he goes in the mall by himself, you know, now. And so, at the Westfield Mall. So I'm waiting, and like Ford is in the back seat, and he was listening to like It's Raining Tacos, and he was singing it. And like for a parent of a child that I didn't know if he was going to speak or not, like for him to be saying, I was just like, crying as my son got in the car. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right now, and
your dad's a mess right now. Oh yeah, yeah. So it's a beautiful thing, and I just feel sorry for all the men that came before me that couldn't emote or feel comfortable to, because I have no problem.
Well, there's a lot of men probably watching right now that still don't feel comfortable emoting. So how do we change that? What would you guys say?
Make them comfortable with it. Like even my friends in LA or whatever back home, I'm like, let's cry. Let's have some drinks, get emotional, and cry. It feels good. I'd always say, let's go get emotional by the ocean because it's emotional. It's like I like that you have to make it like part of the thing. And even my friends now, I'm like, yeah, I cry a lot, and they're like, they kind of give me a look, but you got to ease them into it.
You have to get it out. It's in there. It's good and bad. Just I think this idea that men are just like, I'm just not going to let anything out. I'm just going to bury it under beer and vodka.
It's going to come out.
That did not work.
It's going.
It comes out.
It's about creating a safe space too. Like I would far rather see a man in my life cry than take his emotions out in a different way that aren't going to be as healthy. So creating that safe space is important.
Amen. I love it. We are equally emotional up here. Coming up on DBL, we're chatting with the creator of Dope Sick, a new series zeroing in on America's opioid crisis. Stay with us.
If you're
When it comes to mass shootings, there is no universally accepted definition of a mass shooting. Different agencies define it based on different criteria. USA Today reports from 2006 to 2018, Idaho and Hawaii were the only states in the country to not have a mass shooting. But how did they determine that? What constitutes as a mass shooting? And does Monday's deadly mall shooting change those findings? Let's verify. Our sources are the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Congressional Research Service, and the Violence Project, as well as news magazine Mother Jones. The Congressional Research Service defines mass shootings as a multiple homicide incident in which 4 or more victims are murdered with firearms, not including the offender or offenders within one event. The FBI definition is essentially the same. The agency defines a mass shooting as any incident in which at least 4 people are murdered with a gun. Mother Jones tracks mass shootings in a national database using FBI data dating back to 1982. But Mother Jones also includes attacks dating from January 2013, in which 3 or more victims were killed. This after President Obama authorized a mandate lowering that baseline to 3 or more victims killed for federal investigations of mass shootings. Additional criteria for mass shootings state the shootings happen in a single location that is considered a public place. So while Monday's deadly shooting at the Boise Town Square Mall won't be logged as a mass shooting, based on this criteria, it will forever be seen and felt as a tragedy here in Idaho.
Welcome back to DBL. Before the coronavirus pandemic, there was another epidemic that touched millions of Americans. In fact, the opioid epidemic is still killing tens of thousands of Americans every year. Now, a new Hulu series called Dope Sick is exposing the family behind it all. We spoke with the series writer and executive producer, Danny Strong. Check it out.
Danny Strong, welcome to DBL. I want to start right off with the Sackler family of Purdue Pharma fame. They made billions of dollars from OxyContin. What does Dope Sick reveal about this Sackler family?
I think in watching Dope Sick, you come to understand exactly how much they oversaw, ran, and were in charge of this company. For many years, they claimed that they were passively involved, that they were just on the board, and that all of the criminal behavior that they had pled, the company had pled guilty to in 2007, well, that was just people that were working under them, and that they weren't responsible. But what has come out in all the litigation and in discovery, all their emails, was that what they'd been saying for years was, surprise, surprise, completely untrue.
You know, a lot of people have talked about the Sackler family and the lengths they went to market OxyContin, despite it being super addictive. So what was the most surprising thing that you learned about this project? Because I'm sure there's a lot.
Yeah, so the most surprising thing I learned was literally everything I learned. I was stunned. Every new page of a book I would read, I just could not believe the extent that this company went to lie, deceive, manipulate. And that it all kind of came together is essentially a long con. And then when you go back in time to the scion of the family, Arthur Sackler, who created all the marketing techniques that his family utilized in the promotion of OxyContin, that this was the family playbook from the 50s and the 60s.
Wow.
That goes on and on and on. And I thought, wow, if I could dramatize this for an audience, they will be shocked and stunned.
I wanted to talk about the actual series. You got Keaton, Michael Keaton. Okay, he's my Batman. I love Keaton. He stars and is one of the executive producers on this series.
I do.
Right, what was it like working with him? And I hear he has a personal connection?
Yeah, so I never thought we had a chance to get Michael Keaton to play this role. The show's an ensemble, so it's not even the lead role.
Many of my patients are minors. It's dangerous work, and they carry the burden of building this nation on their backs. I can't believe how many of them are dead now.
And but his nephew had passed away from an overdose, so it was extremely personal to him. And then working with him, he's as cool and as down to earth as any superstar I've ever met. I mean, he's just everything you kind of imagine him to be.
Do you think the stigma around opioids is changing in real time?
Well, and I do want to put out there that I believe the majority of the doctors were deceived themselves, and that fell for the marketing materials, fell for the fake studies, because they read about them in respectable medical journals. There was also this redefining of opioids, that they're actually, and this started happening in the mid-'80s, but it really exploded, not coincidentally, at the launch of OxyContin, because it was all manipulated by Purdue, that we were now redefining opioid use, that opioid use has been stigmatized for decades, but it is now much safer than we ever would have imagined, right? That was part of Purdue's long con. So, and that doesn't mean there weren't criminal doctors as well that were running pill mills and taking advantage of the fact that the drug was so addictive and so easy for them to prescribe. But a number of those pill mill doctors have gone to prison with long-term prison sentences, 25 years, 30 years. But you know who hasn't even been criminally charged is the family of the company that did all the deception in the first place.
Danny Strong, thank you so much, first off, for joining us on DBL. And I rarely say that a piece of art is imperative to watch. This is Dope Sick. It's streaming right now on Hulu, and new episodes drop Wednesday, so be sure to check it out. Thanks, Danny. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
programs have launched or are about to start in Arlington and Alexandria. Even DC has looked at it, so let's get you familiar with Universal Basic Income. To understand Universal Basic Income, or UBI, we went to Ben Gittes, an associate director from the Bipartisan Policy Center's Economic Policy Project. We went to Elaine Mogg, a researcher from the Tax Policy Center at the Urban Institute, and then several studies on UBI in the real world. So first, what is Universal Basic Income?
So basic income is the idea that every person in the country will have some standard of living provided to them.
So instead of having a number of different programs folks would go to, there would be one check that goes out to every single person. That would be their source of federal or government support.
The idea is that universal basic income could soften the burden of the rising costs of living in the United States and actually encourage more work. Which is another question a lot of people ask. Wouldn't that just discourage people from working if they're getting free money? Here our experts disagree. Ben Gittes says UBI's goal is to get more people into the workforce and build careers, but
universal basic income at best does not help us achieve those objectives because we're simply giving people money.
While Elaine Mogg sees something else.
In Stockton, they found actually the benefit encouraged people to go to work even though it wasn't based on work.
Which leads us to, does it work? Currently, the largest study was a 2-year program in Stockton, California. Here, the city gave an extra $500 a month to 125 residents for 2 years.
And what they found is that people who got the full benefit were more likely to increase the work hours.
But
there haven't been really any large-scale implementations of a universal basic income that would be insightful for a U.S. federal policy for implementing that.
Which is why the pilot programs in Arlington, Alexandria, and now Montgomery County will be so important going forward. Today, the city of Chicago will be voting on one of the largest universal basic income programs. If it passes, 5,000 families will get an extra $500 a month. But as you heard our experts explain, that's the only way to really see if these programs work, because everything else is theoretical until it hits the real world. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
This Friday on DBL, we're going all in for Halloween. We'll be getting all dressed up with looks from the shows you've been binging.
No, thank you. Thank you for having us.
John, no. Plus, we'll get a glimpse into our futures with a live psychic reading, and actress Justine Bateman will also be here live. You're invited to our big Halloween bash this Friday on DBL.
When I say don't miss Friday, I really do mean it. We are all wearing like iconic costumes. I don't want to give anything away.
We kind of just did.
No, we didn't.
Were you watching that?
Don't give away anything. We did not give anything away.
This is true.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be good, and we're all committed. Erica's going to be committed. You better be committed.
Wait, but how long do we have to talk like our character?
Probably when we will have an entrance. I'll just give you guys a hint. We will have an entrance. During your entrance, you better talk like your character.
Oh. Wow. Break out a little Pastor Paul.
Are you in character right now? Because that sounded rough.
That's a little hint.
That's a hint.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Chrissy Tegan is still trying to make her way back from being canceled. Why she believes she should be forgiven. And before a vacation with friends, Susan Bender vanishes. In today's True Crime Chronicles, we're hearing why investigators are reopening this cold case.
Recommending boosters for millions of people, prompting one big question: which one should I get? Enter the internet, trying to solve that question. A graphic has been circulating on social media ranking the 3 boosters for each of the vaccines. So let's verify, is this graphic based on real data? And what does it show about which boosters we should get? Our sources are the CDC, a study from the National Institute of Health, and these 2 medical experts. First, we could confirm that the data is real. It's based on this study from the NIH, which looked at 458 people, split into 9 groups. Each group had some combination of the 3 vaccines and 3 boosters. And the numbers referenced in that tweet show what's called the geometric mean fold rise.
Geometric fold rise refers to the level of antibodies that are measured after you get a vaccine. So anytime you boost, you're going to get a rise in antibody. They're going to rise 2-fold, 3-fold, whatever it might be.
And according to this data, it's clear. There was a much bigger response to mRNA boosters. Our experts say that's especially the case for those who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. In that study, study, their antibodies jumped 4.6-fold after getting a J&J booster, but they jumped 32.8-fold for a Pfizer booster and 56.1-fold for a Moderna booster.
So clearly, J&J, followed by one of the mRNA vaccines, gives you a higher antibody level than if it were followed by J&J itself.
As for those who received an mRNA vaccine, meaning Moderna or Pfizer, our experts say that so far the data shows sticking with an mRNA booster is the way to go. Now we should note this is preliminary data, and the study itself points out that there are some limitations, including a small sample size. Also, Dr. Adalja points out that antibodies are just one way to measure immunity. So we can verify that yes, this graphic is based off of real numbers from the NIH, and so far it shows that an mRNA...
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll. Wow. Welcome to DBL. I am Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Erica. Erica, are you okay? Yeah, we just had a moment in the commercial break, but we're going to gather ourselves.
No more Al stories.
Yeah, no more Al stories.
Oh, I wish we could.
I know. So Chrissy Tegan is opening up about her cyberbullying scandal. Chrissy sat down with Hoda Kotb on the Today Show. So it was her first TV interview since being accused of bullying people online. Chrissy lost endorsements, but says she used her time out of the spotlight to reflect on her behavior. Watch.
You just kind of throw things out there and you don't know that you don't really think about the impact and the person on the other side. And like, I think about how much I've changed just in the past year and how much I've grown and learned. I feel like I've done the work, and I just hope these people can, forgive.
So Chrissy also revealed she is 100 days sober. She quit drinking because of the embarrassing way she was acting, especially around her husband, John Legend. Erica, you always speak about, you're the queen of the comeback, but they have to earn the comeback, according to you. Do you think Chrissy has earned it, or you're still holding out?
I think for some, she's earned it. But the truth is, you're not going to earn it from everyone. And I know that she has to come out and say these things in order to at least continue her accountability to her. But to look for everybody to forgive and forget is just a fool's errand.
Yeah, as long as someone's looking inward about their mistakes they made in the past, and I've always said, whatever you did in the past, mostly failures, you learn the biggest lessons from. She learned a big lesson from this. I'm not condoning what she did because it's horrific, right? Just like everything else written online that you write to people that you don't know. That's horrific. But people some days are going to have to look inward instead of looking outward, instead of blaming the internet or that person or this is the reason why I acted like this or that. Stop pointing fingers at everybody. Start looking inward of why you did something. She took accountability for it. She's 100 days sober, saying she was embarrassing. She's looking at herself in the mirror and taking her imperfections and working on that. I don't applaud what she did, but I applaud what she's doing now.
Well said.
Man, a lot of people can learn from her. It's people do things, especially when they're drinking, that's really embarrassing. I know I did. I mean, that's kind of the nature of drinking. It's a disinhibitor. It makes you be impulsive and do things you normally wouldn't. That's the incentive for drinking. And, I think that I heard a woman that is truly regretful, but at the same time, I don't know if telling people that you've changed is as impactful as showing them.
What do you think
she should
do? What do you think she should?
I think it'll be a long-term thing. When you're sober, you can say it, but after a while, people will know, and you'll just change. It won't be as quickly as just like, okay, we're going to do this tour, apologize, and we're back to normal. It might be 2 years. It might be 4 years. But the more people see you, they'll look and they'll be like, that seems like a different person. And I think we'll see a slower shift than just like, I'm sorry and everything's back to normal.
Right, and I hope she does. It seems like she is. It seems like she's putting in the work. We'll have to wait and see, to Al's point. So Angelina Jolie had an awkward exchange with a reporter during an interview with Ppos. She was asked about her relationship with The Weeknd. The two have been spotted having dinner recently, but neither have confirmed that they are dating. So take a look at the interview.
So I have to know, were they more excited that you were in the Eternals or that you are friends with The Weeknd?
They're very excited about this film, if that's what you're asking. They're very excited about this film.
Angelina also opened up about her parenting style in the recent issue of People magazine. She said that she's not a perfect parent.
I am.
Al is, apparently, and often questions whether she's doing the right thing or not, but said her children's kindness has been very healing for her. So let's take it one thing at a time. What do you think of the awkward exchange with the reporter? It didn't feel that awkward.
It wasn't that awkward. What was awkward about it?
Dismissive, I think, would be the right word. She just didn't address it.
Well, she wanted to focus on the film.
But also, this would help focus on the film to create a little.
Well, she did. She said Eternal. She plugged it.
I know, but like she could have. But the weekend, that's gonna bring more. Oh, are they dating? Like she could have thrown a little like ambiguous.
Does she need to?
Yes.
I don't.
It's not like all the townspeople are talking about this movie.
All the townspeople.
It'll do fine, but it's not like Avatar 2 or something.
She completely ignored the question and deferred it. But I mean, who cares, right?
That's just an awkward thing all around, because chances are, I don't know who this reporter is, but it may not have even been their idea to ask the question. It's something that they wanted the answer to for this piece. And now you're in this super weird situation where it's like, I'm going to ask this question. I don't know how this person's going to respond. And then it's on you. So it's like she could have responded. I'm sure someone who wasn't an Angelina Jolie might have dangled that carrot. But Angelina Jolie has had all of her business in the street for decades at this point. I doubt that she needs to talk about the weekend.
But you have to ask that question.
As a reporter, to pull back, and we're not reporters, but to pull back that curtain, if you're interviewing somebody, you got to ask a question that might get some traction, so it gets out there a little bit more, right? So, and it's up to her to answer it the way she wants. She doesn't have to be rude about it. She could just kind of brush it off and move on, like a pro. That's what she did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So Paris Hilton is getting ready to walk down the aisle next month with her fiance, Carter Reum. Now, we have to look at some of their items in their wedding registry. Are you guys ready?
His name is Carter Reum?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sounds like expensive fabric.
It does. It does.
Like, don't sit on that. That's Carter Reum. Doesn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Just how rich people condescend you. Don't. That's you don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's Carter Reum. Okay, so for $215, you can get the happy couple some ice tongs. Ice bucket is sold separately, of course. It's not included in the $215.
Why was tongs in quotes in the prompter?
Because it can mean other things, I guess.
I guess so.
I guess. Okay, so the silver candle holder will set you back. Are you ready? How much this silver candle holder? $1,220.
Oh, it's like her mom's baccarat. Baccarat.
Oh, baccarat.
Yeah.
How about a crystal vase? This one is only $4,900. And if you're feeling a bit creative, there is this satin crystal limited edition greyhound sculpture.
I like that.
$3,650. Or if that's out of your budget, you can pick up a gold butterfly for $200. What a steal.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that she has a registry when she probably has everything under the sun? Why does she need a registry?
I don't know. I really don't. I went to a wedding that was a multi-million-dollar wedding, and I worked, apart from my full-time job, I worked Friday night bartending and Saturday afternoon before the wedding just to get a gift card, because the cheapest thing on there was like a fork for $250. So, yeah, I don't understand.
The thinking behind that is, though? Is that to shame your guests?
I don't understand.
Because
why would you do that?
You guys wouldn't have that. None of you guys would
not have a wedding registry.
I don't think it's to shame. I would not have a wedding registry either. Why don't you donate to this charity? That's what I would say. Or just come and you're the gift, whatever it may be. But I don't think that she's shaming people. I think they live in a bubble. This is their world. All their friends and family are
But that $200 butterfly was
$200 to them means nothing.
That's what I'm saying. So if you come with the butterfly, you're like, okay, you're in that category. You can't show up with that butterfly. Yeah, but if you have
it is judgment. Yeah. It is. It's judgment on what you buy, how much you spend. It's how much you care in that world.
Will you tell the Christina Applegate really quickly?
Oh,
what? I love Christina Applegate.
I love Jeff's stories.
No, well, this is embarrassing, and it's kind of bright. Well,
the Lance Bass?
Yeah, I went to Lance Bass's wedding. I actually told you this earlier today because I was so embarrassed. But I went to Lance Bass's wedding, and I got, I don't know what you do at a celebrity wedding.
Neither do I.
Yeah, so I don't know. And I was waiting in line because it was like, it was very put together, and I brought this big box. I forgot
was in there?
I think some sort of kitchen appliance or something. I don't know. I'm so embarrassed.
A toaster oven?
And I'm waiting in line, and then Christina Applegate's behind me, and all these people are in line. I'm like, where's everybody's gifts?
Because they sent them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I go inside and I go to my buddy Bob. I'm like, Bob, what's up, dude? I was out there for like 20 minutes holding this gift like a loser. And he's like, dude, you're supposed to like just send it to their house.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do I do with this? And he's like, that's the table for the presents. There was not one. I put my giant box on there. I was like, oh my God.
How embarrassing.
I love that you brought a gift,
I love that you did too.
That's what's
Me
up.
too.
Embarrassing.
Yep. I love it. Okay, so before we go, the CEO of Spanx surprised her staff recently. Sarah Blakely celebrated selling a majority stake of her company for $1.2 billion by giving her staff 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world. But that's not all. Watch.
You know, if you go on a trip, you might have to, you might want to go out to a really nice dinner. You might want to go out to a really nice hotel. And so, with everybody's 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world, you are each getting $10,000.
Oh, that makes me emotional. It's so important to treat your employees who help build that company and share the wealth with them, because without them, you wouldn't be able to sell it for $1.2 billion. Kudos to her. Kudos to Spanx.
I think that that's a valuable lesson that a lot of corporations could learn. If you show that you have your employees' best interests and you want to see them do well and thrive, they will produce for you. Like all of this reverse psychology of treating people like crap, I grew up and my parents would have people who would have big parties and stuff. That's part of the reason why I do it, is because I think that if you can come together as a community, even though you're coworkers, then it just makes everything go so much better. So I think that this is a really great example of what can happen.
Well said. Coming up on DBL, the search for a California woman goes cold, but investigators reopen the case decades later. How justice could finally be found in today's True Crime Chronicles.
Closed captioning provided by
Yeah, so I love that story too about the Spanx woman, just because it's man, she started that business in her garage, right?
She did.
And she climbed the ladder financially, the corporate world, started her own business, gave other people livelihoods, and then she gave back, right? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help people up on your way up that are up there already, and you help people up that ladder. And that's what she's doing. She's up on top, and she's helping people up that ladder. That's what you're supposed to do with success, not take advantage of it, not abuse people with it. You're supposed to help the next person coming up the ladder.
And you know what? It actually motivates your workers.
Yeah.
She sees them as people that got her to where she is, so she's rewarding them. She's like, thank God I was able to sell this company because of you all. Here's your reward. But that also is very, some people that think, I guess selfishly, that is a very, what am I trying to say? What's the word where you're investing in your people, but you're actually getting the result?
Savvy business move?
No.
Gratifying? Because it's got to be gratifying for her, too, to give back.
Right, but it also is getting the result that you want. To Erica's point, some people will think the result that I want is to make more money.
I'm waiting for you to pull out a line that
I don't
is
know
not
what's
it.
happening here.
It's a mutual investment.
What's good for the goose is ganders.
I'm saying even if you're a selfish person, you get the reward back.
Right.
Because
it's mutually beneficial. There's an investment. So it's not
spanking a hand.
It's not just a, you do the work and you get paid. It's you put more effort into it, help the company grow, and then you get a residual benefit after that, which a lot of companies don't think that way. No. And my husband worked for a company that was very much that way. And as a result, they had a lot of success. And so what we try to do, for our, as employees and as people who have businesses, is do things for other people to keep the morale up so that people want to produce.
Okay, Erica.
Oh, it's me? Sorry.
Welcome back to DBL. No federal database tracks the number of missing Native American women in this country. Estimates range from 116 to as many as 5,000 women who have vanished without a trace. Today, we're shining a light on just one of those cases, the disappearance of Susan Robin Bender. That's today's True Crime Chronicles.
It's April 25th, 1986. Susan Robin Bender,
is waiting at the 10th and G Street Greyhound Bus Depot in Modesto, California. Susan plans to travel to Carmel by the Sea, a small coastal town about 120 miles west of Modesto, to meet up with her friends for the day. But in moments, her life will change forever.
We hung out a lot. We would bike ride. We would walk. We would do a lot of stuff together.
Susan is at a payphone making a phone call. In her luggage, Susan has packed her diary, an address book, and some clothes. But instead of boarding a bus bound for Carmel, she is seen climbing into a full-size green van. The van drives off, and Susan Robin Bender vanishes.
We had hope that she would be found alive in some way.
Police begin searching for her, knowing that the next 24 hours are critical in missing persons cases. However, Susan's disappearance makes little to no national headlines. And the following day, on April 26th, the Soviet nuclear power plant at Chernobyl explodes. In the months that follow, this disaster dominates global attention as news agencies around the world obsess over the cleanup. But in Modesto, California, Susan's family finds no relief. Police track down a suspect, but they don't publicly identify him to the press, despite discovering Susan's diary, address book, and clothes at the suspect's house. And ultimately, authorities make no arrest nor file any charges. Susan is slowly forgotten, and her case goes cold. However, in October 2021, California's Modesto Police Department makes a surprising announcement. They reopen Susan's 35-year-old cold case and reignite hope that one day Susan Robin Bender may finally find justice.
I can't call it closure because I don't think you get closure. You just get some type of justice.
Susan was just 15 years old when she disappeared. Today, she would have been in her 50s. Earlier, we caught up with Madison Wade, a reporter at ABC 10 in Sacramento, California. Here's what she had to tell us. Madison, thanks for taking the time to chat with us about Susan's disappearance. Why has Modesto PD reopened the case?
So they have looked at cases throughout the history of their cold case unit to try to find ones that are solvable. And this is one that stood out to the Modesto Police Department. When we pressed them on exactly why they're reopening this case, they weren't able to give us much more details, probably for a good reason. And we don't want to jeopardize what that might be. But they did tell us that they identified some potential areas of opportunity which may lead them to a possible suspect and moving this case forward. This includes advancements in technology, probably genetic genealogy as well. And they also were saying that they could have more information about some individuals that were previously unidentified that could be part of Susan's disappearance that they haven't spoken to yet. So again, putting this out into the media, into the local news always helps, brings in a lot of tips. I know from my series Unsolved California, anytime we do a story on any case, every single department, police agency gets hundreds of tips from people. So we do know that that is a tool our local police departments like to use.
There are so few details about Susan's disappearance. Why do you think her case has gotten so little attention?
It's a great question, and one we actually asked Modesto Police as well. And again, it's been 36 years now, so it's hard to say exactly why there wasn't so much media attention at the very beginning when this happened. It could be her age. She was 15 years old. As we know now in the news media, when we hear of a 15-year-old missing, it's, well, were they at risk? Are they running away from something? Was this their own decision? So that could be playing into it. It also could be her background, you know, the fact she was a Native American descent as well. We do know missing white woman syndrome is a real thing. We just saw that with the Gabby Petito case, and that is still ongoing. We actually talked to a criminologist, Zach Summers, who published a study about the missing white woman syndrome. And he said and found that white girls and women make up a third of America's population, and they were the subject of half of the news stories that they examined.
During their initial investigation, the police found found Susan's belongings at the home of the suspect, but no arrest was ever made. I find that problematic. Can you tell me why?
Absolutely. And I wish I had a very clear answer as to why. But what we do know is that her diary, her address book, some other items, personal items, she had a bracelet on at the time that she was taken, a gold bracelet. So some other items we don't exactly know. Some clothing were also located at the suspect's home after she vanished. Now, this person has been cleared. They were never arrested as part of this investigation because of a lack of evidence. Again, 36 years ago, that is a long time ago when DNA evidence wasn't that pertinent. Of course, now we know DNA evidence is the key to solving so many of these cases. So it is quite possible that that person they were looking at initially when they found some of her items, they're looking at again. And we just don't know. We don't want to jeopardize the case. You know, Modesto Police is reopening this case for a very good reason. And that is possibly one of the biggest reasons.
Well, I mean, we certainly appreciate your efforts in this case. I know that we are blasting this everywhere because we want people to jog their memories. We want people to come forward if they have any information. Madison, thank you so much for chatting with us and for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
Since reopening her case, Modesto PD has reported no new developments. Anyone with information about Susan can call the Modesto Police at 209-342-9104. But for now, it seems Susan's disappearance will remain unsolved. We'll be right back.
We all know.
When it comes to mass shootings, there is no universally accepted definition of a mass shooting. Different agencies define it based on different criteria. USA Today reports from 2006 to 2018, Idaho and Hawaii were the only states in the country to not have a mass shooting. But how did they determine that? What constitutes as a mass shooting? And does Monday's deadly mall shooting change those findings? Let's verify. Our sources are the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Congressional Research Service, and the Violence Project, as well as news magazine Mother Jones. The Congressional Research Service defines mass shootings as a multiple homicide incident in which 4 or more victims are murdered with firearms, not including the offender or offenders within one event. The FBI definition is essentially the same. The agency defines a mass shooting as any incident in which at least 4 people are murdered with a gun. Mother Jones tracks mass shootings in a national database using FBI data dating back to 1982. But Mother Jones also includes attacks dating from January 2013, in which 3 or more victims were killed. This after President Obama authorized a mandate lowering that baseline to 3 or more victims killed for federal investigations of mass shootings. Additional criteria for mass shootings state the shootings happen in a single location that is considered a public place. So while Monday's deadly shooting at the Boise Town Square Mall won't be logged as a mass shooting, based on this criteria, it will forever be seen and felt as a tragedy here in Idaho.
Welcome back to DBL. It is open enrollment season, and we have some tips to make it easy, so it's time for some helpful healthcare tips presented by Health Markets. Let's start simple. Hmos and Ppos are 2 types of popular health plans. HMO plans tend to have a strict network of providers that your insurance will cover, while PPO plans will cover costs of out-of-network providers. And finally, deductibles and premiums are separate costs that come out of your pocket. Premiums are the monthly payment you make for your plan, and the deductible is the maximum out-of-pocket expenses that you're responsible for before your insurance kicks in. So finding a plan with a lower deductible could actually save you a lot of money. Health Markets help you find a plan in minutes, so just call 800-390-9633 or log on to healthmarkets.com. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Programs have launched launched or are about to start in Arlington and Alexandria. Even DC has looked at it, so let's get you familiar with Universal Basic Income. To understand Universal Basic Income, or UBI, we went to Ben Gittes, an associate director from the Bipartisan Policy Center's Economic Policy Project. We went to Elaine Mogg, a researcher from the Tax Policy Center at the Urban Institute, and then several studies on UBI in the real world. So first, what is Universal Basic Income?
So basic income is the idea that every person in the country will have some standard of living provided to them.
So instead of having a number of different programs folks would go to, there would be one check that goes out to every single person. That would be their source of federal or government support.
The idea is that universal basic income could soften the burden of the rising costs of living in the United States and actually encourage more work. Which is another question a lot of people ask. Wouldn't that just discourage people from working if they're getting free money? Here our experts disagree. Ben Gittes says UBI's goal is to get more people into the workforce and build careers, but
universal basic income at best does not help us achieve those objectives because we're simply giving people money.
While Elaine Mogg sees something else.
In Stockton, they found actually the benefit encouraged people to go to work even though it wasn't based on work.
Which leads us to, does it work? Currently, the largest study was a 2-year program in Stockton, California. Here, the city gave an extra $500 a month to 125 residents for 2 years.
And what they found is that people who got the full benefit were more likely to increase the work hours.
But
there haven't been really any large-scale implementations of a universal basic income that would be insightful for U.S. federal policy for implementing that.
Which is why the pilot programs in Arlington, Alexandria, and now Montgomery County will be so important going forward. Today, the city of Chicago will be voting on one of the largest universal basic income programs. If it passes, 5,000 families will get an extra $500 a month. But as you heard our experts explain, that's the only way to really see if these programs work because everything else is theoretical until it hits the real world. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
Tomorrow on DBL, Fear the Walking Dead star Jenna Elfman is here live, talking about her big break and how she wanted Dharma and Greg to end. And magician Matt Franco's tricks will blow your mind. He reveals his most embarrassing moment on stage. That's tomorrow on DBL.
AGT, right?
Huh?
Was he on AGT?
Oh, are you a big AGT fan?
I am. I like that guy.
All right. He recognized him from America's Got Talent. Not everybody knows that's what AGT means.
It's showbiz talk.
Thanks for the inside scoop.
Is now recommending boosters for millions of people, prompting one big question: which one should I get? Enter the internet, trying to solve that question. A graphic has been circulating on social media ranking the 3 boosters for each of the vaccines. So let's verify, is this graphic based on real data? And what does it show about which boosters we should get? Our sources are the CDC, a study from the National Institute of Health, and these 2 medical experts. First, we could confirm that the data is real. It's based on this study from the NIH, which looked at 458 people, split into 9 groups. Each group had some combination of the 3 vaccines and 3 boosters. And the numbers referenced in that tweet show what's called the geometric mean fold rise.
Geometric fold rise refers to the level of antibodies that are measured after you get a vaccine. So anytime you boost, you're going to get a rise in antibody. They're going to rise twofold, threefold, whatever it might be.
And according to this data, it's clear there was a much bigger response to mRNA boosters. Our experts say that's especially the case for those who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. In that study, their antibodies jumped 4.6-fold after getting a J&J booster, but they jumped 32.8-fold for a Pfizer booster and 56.1-fold for a Moderna booster.
So clearly, J&J followed by one of the mRNA vaccines gives you a higher antibody level than if it were followed by J&J itself.
As for those who received an mRNA vaccine, meaning Moderna or Pfizer, our experts say that so far the data shows sticking with an mRNA booster is the way to go. Now we should note this is preliminary data, and the study itself points out that there are some limitations, including a small sample size. Also, Dr. Adalja points out that antibodies are just one way to measure immunity. So we can verify that yes, this graphic is based off of real numbers from the NIH, and so far it shows that an mRNA booster will create the most antibodies, especially if your original shot was Johnson & Johnson.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Squid Game is a violent smash hit on Netflix, but should schools ban Halloween costumes from the show? A mom is outraged by her 12-year-old school photos being digitally altered. Is retouching photos only appropriate for adults? Can Chrissy Tegan make a cancel club comeback after her cyberbullying controversy?
I feel like I've done the work, and I just hope these people can, forgive.
And from a $5,000 vase to a $1,200 candle holder, wait till you see what's in Paris Hilton's wedding registry.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll. Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, October 27th. I'm Sam here with my friends Al, Jeff, and Erica. So we do have a quick update on the story that we have all been following about the shooting on Alec Baldwin's movie Rust that killed the cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. The gaffer on the film, who you see here alongside Halyna, is talking about the incident on Facebook. He says he worked with her on almost all of her films and said he held her in his arms while she was dying. He also posted this picture saying it is the last photo on set with Halyna. You can see Alec in the background. This is the scene they were filming in the church just before the shooting. So there was a press conference earlier this morning, and they released some new details about the investigation. Take a listen.
Through the execution of search warrants, we have collected about 600 items of evidence. These include, but are not limited to, 3 firearms, approximately 500 rounds of ammunition, and several pieces of clothing and accessories. We believe that we have in our possession the firearm that was fired by Mr. Baldwin.
All options are on the table at this point. I'm not commenting on charges, whether they will be filed or not, or on whom. No one has been ruled out at this point.
Wow. So New Mexico is definitely on top of this investigation, and they're going to get to the bottom of it, according to them. Jeff, I didn't get to hear a lot of your opinions on this. Like, we had Cam on the show, who you love, Cam Matheson on the show. He talked about being an actor and being on set. I know that your experience as an actor, have you ever experienced any of this? Apparently there was live ammunition mixed with the blanks all over the set that they found.
It's crazy.
Yeah, being on set, and again, the movies that I do are very low budget, right? This is an Alec Baldwin movie. The ones I'm in, I shot one during COVID. There was such protocol. SAG was there every day. We had it before we went on to set. We had to get tested, sit there. This is a low budget film, right? If you have kids on set, there's someone there to watch it. If you have animals on set, someone is specifically there to handle that animal. I don't know how it got to this point that there's 500 rounds of ammunition. A gun went off apparently even before this one. It's like, where is SAG? Where's the union? Where are the people looking after these firearms, the specialists that are supposed to be looking after this? Is this necessarily her job? I don't think so.
I mean, whenever there's a profit motive and you have a budget, your job is to try and cut corners to increase your profit as much as possible. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is probably the motivation for why we had people that were inexperienced, people that were not union, people that should not have been in a position that they were in. And they acted like it. Things were left out. Live ammunition is mixed with blanks, which seems crazy, but it's what happens when you have inexperienced people doing anything. If you had me running a neighborhood pool, I don't know, I can barely swim. Like that, it would be clear in a couple days that I shouldn't have been there. And this is what happened here. We saw incident after incident. People were leaving Erica, and this is the culmination.
Honestly, I'm just like, at this point, this don't make no damn sense. It really doesn't. I mean, the idea that you're like, even have live ammunition on the set. How many people, how many actors who have worked with any type of firearms would have had that type of comfort to know that live ammunition is even around? Like, what would be the reason for live ammunition to even be on the set or in the proximity of a set? Like, there are just so many egregious, I wouldn't even say missteps. It's negligence at this point.
So do you think criminal charges will be filed?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
All right.
So if they're not, what's the situation would be? If it's not this situation,
I guarantee you there will be.
There has to be.
I know. We'll continue to follow that story. Okay, switching gears here. We all know that Halloween is this weekend, and guess what? Right here at DBL, we're going to be celebrating Halloween here in the studio this Friday. We're all going to dress up. So you guys have to make sure you tune in to see who each of us are. They're good. Like, I mean, the costumes are
I was really surprised at how good they are.
Oh, they're going to be so good. So make
really
sure that you tune in on Friday. Speaking of dressing up, some elementary schools in upstate New York are banning Squid Game Halloween costumes. So one of the principals sent a letter explaining that costumes like these are banned due to concerns about the potential violent nature of the game. So in case you don't know, in the hit Netflix show, contestants compete in children's games like red light, green light for a large cash prize. But guess what? Their lives are on the line. So what are your thoughts on kids dressing up in costumes from violent TV shows or movies? What do you think about this, Jeff?
Here's what I think. We need to stop coddling everybody. That's what I need to think. We have video games where you could blow people's head off, chop them in half, but we say that doesn't affect children because it's a huge market, right? How is one day out of the year dressing up like somebody, whether it be Michael Myers or whoever it may be, a problem? We have to coddle everybody in America to say, like, this is wrong and now maybe we should just take it off the market. That's not going to change people's behaviors. They're still going to act how they act. Whether you dress up one day like this, I just think it's going a little bit too far. But I see the concern, but it's too far for me.
I think you're right. I mean, we're talking about one day or every single day. I don't play video games at all, but we rented Mortal Kombat, the new one.
Oh my gosh, I loved Mortal Kombat.
I didn't know, because I'm an older gentleman, that the fatality scenes have changed. But like, I did one, like when you
from back in the day.
Yeah, they're not like very mellow Nintendo anymore.
Whoa.
When I did the fatality move, I was just practicing.
Yeah.
I lunged for Ford and tried to cover his eyes because it was so graphic.
But they were always graphic.
But the graphics are 10 times better, 20 times better than when we were growing up. So it's violent. And so if he can see that every day, that was in March. So now what, just October 31st, we're locking it down?
YouTube, you could see the most horrific things in the whole world. But don't put a costume out that might represent something. For me, it's too much.
Do you think it's too much, Erica? I almost called you Ari.
I like that.
Well, that's what you call your sister, Erica.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have children, but I have a host of nieces and nephews and godchildren. And at first, I was very confused by this because I'm like, why are they singling out a single franchise like Squid Game? But the truth is, in most schools, you can't dress as violent characters, and a big part of that has to do with the acts that come along with being dressed up in violent characters. Apparently, this school had an issue with the kids actually playing out scenes from Squid Game.
Yes.
So, I mean, that costume obviously doesn't look inherently violent, but if they're also putting actions behind it, I can understand why they would say they're going to add it to the list.
Yeah, I think this is a very specific situation, but I totally agree with you.
While their moms pick them up in their dirty nurse costumes, like, don't dress my kid like that. Okay, easy fishnet.
Easy fishnet. We're going to go to the next story after easy fishnet.
Keep keeping up with the theme about kids. So some moms are upset, and dads. Why is it always got to be the moms? I'm sure dads are upset too. With the company doing school photos for their kids, they say they're encouraging parents to pay $12 to have their kids' photos digitally retouched. So one mom posted this before and after, showing how her 12-year-old son's freckles were removed in the touched-up photo. Another mom told the New York Post it's teaching kids that they need to look perfect all the time and that they can change with the click of a mouse. I would be furious. I get that at least they're putting it in the consent of the parents. I still think it's wrong. But I know that in the past, we've seen schools kind of do this on their own without any consent from the parents.
Sure.
Creepy.
I
Yes.
could have used some digital retouching, especially how bad the lighting was being one of. There were less than 10 children of color in my school, and the lighting was so horrific. My mustache was deeper than my dad's by the time that it got to the yearbook. So I think
you can compare the two. I think shame on that school for not having proper lighting for the diversity of their children. But I don't like the idea of then taking an image and then erasing freckles or narrowing a nose. That's what's happening at this school. The parents can decide to narrow their children's noses.
But I don't think that I look at it the other way. I thought this was just lazy editing. They just put the full blowout where they just took all the
there shouldn't
imagery
be
from
any
the
editing on children.
It says you, and I agree. But I think a lot of parents would be like, "Hey, can you take the peanut butter off my kid's face?"
That's different.
Other parents want their kids to look differently.
Taking something that can easily be removed, like because they ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich compared to
I'm saying I don't want any editing.
With, I think
that's over the top.
But that's what's happening at this school.
I don't even think they were even doing that. They were just like, they just blew the face out so there was nothing on it. It looked worse. I like the freckles.
With that?
I'm furious that they have an upcharge for this. It should come with the package.
Exactly. Fix my kid for $12.
All right, we'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
seriousness, I don't think, I mean, it should be up to the parent. I'm not into Photoshop, but Erica made a really good example of why maybe there should be. For me, if my kid has something on his face or his teeth are messed up because he lost his tooth that morning, or he has a swollen lip, whatever it may be, I want those memories. I want that. Like, hey, remember when you were 3? Everyone looks back at pictures and you're like, look at your hair. My mom cut it like that. Yeah. You know, it's like, I want those photos. And again, I want to keep them innocent as long as you can, because they're going to get into this digital world with filters and things like that. And little kids, unless there's a reason, like you said, you gave a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, leave it alone.
Yeah, I think for my point was with the lighting and not having people who are able to deal with diverse skin tones and all of that. Like, there were some things that I absolutely should have had retouching for. But when it comes to the actual characteristics that the child is born with, even though I may have had a little bit of a mustache, it didn't have to be that dark, okay? It didn't.
Erica, I was going to say this. I think for as much as we attack Instagram and things like that, I do think Instagram has shown, like literally through numbers of followers, that people that have kind of a diverse look, people like that. I mean, obviously there's the Ashley Grahams and the plus size models, but also there are models that have like heavy freckles, and it's like it's a really cool look. It is a really people cool with vitiligo. I saw a Gap ad years ago. It was a young woman, like 12, with vitiligo. Yeah, and it looked awesome. So I do think Instagram, for as bad as it's done with some things, has highlighted the fact that other people look different, and clearly, just by the numbers, people like it.
It's a really good point.
Yeah, but then why cover it up, though?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think it was just lazy.
Let people. I love those photos of like the up close older actors where you can see like every wrinkle, you know, and that's just like
it looks like life in their face.
I love those photos. I think they're so cool. You know, like when you.
Welcome back to DBL. So who do you guys think is more emotional, men or women?
Men.
Oh, Erica A new study from the University of Michigan found that men are just as emotional as women. They followed a group of 142 men and women over 75 days, and they found little to no emotional differences between male and female groups. Erica Cobb, take it away.
I do believe that men are as emotional, if not more emotional than women. We just call it passion. But we also, I mean, men have not been allowed to show emotion from the time that they were very young, and that's something that society's trying to correct. So we see it in very different ways. It might come out as aggression or passion, or things that when we talk about women, it's seen as weakness and vulnerability.
I totally agree. I have a lot of passion. That you said that right. You said that right. But I also have emotion. Ever since my kids were born, Jordan, my wife, will even tell you, I cry more than her. Like there's a commercial, like Snuggle the Bear will come on and rub his blanket. And I'm like, oh man, it's so cute, Snuggles. Like I'll cry. And she's like turned cold. She's like, get over it. You know, it's like we switch roles.
It's so true, bro. Since we're talking about, I cried this weekend. I was waiting. Elijah was he's at the age where he goes in the mall by himself, you know, now.
Oh, you
and so at the Westfield Mall. So I'm waiting, and like Ford is in the back seat, and he was listening to like It's Raining Tacos, and he was singing it, and like for a parent of a child that I didn't know if he was going to speak or not, like for him to be saying, I was just like crying as my son got in the car. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?
Right now, and
your dad's a mess right now." Oh yeah, yeah. So it's a beautiful thing, and I just feel sorry for all the men that came before me that couldn't emote or feel comfortable to, because I have no problem.
Well, there's a lot of men probably watching right now that still don't feel comfortable emoting. So how do we change that? What would you guys say?
Make them comfortable with it. Like even my friends in LA or whatever back home, I'm like, let's cry. Let's have some drinks, get emotional, and cry. It feels good. I'd always say, let's go get emotional by the ocean. Because it's emotional. It's like, I like that you have to make it like part of the thing. And even my friends now, I'm like, yeah, I cry a lot. And they're like, they kind of give me a look, but you got to ease them into it.
You have to get it out. It's in there. It's good and bad. I think this idea that men are just like, I'm just not going to let anything out. I'm just going to bury it under beer and vodka.
It's going to come out.
That did not work.
It's going to
It comes out.
It's about creating a safe space too. Like I would far rather see a man in my life cry than take his emotions out in a different way that aren't going to be as healthy. So creating that safe space is important.
Amen. I love it. We are equally emotional up here. Coming up on DBL, we're chatting with the creator of Dope Sick, a new series zeroing in on America's opioid crisis. Stay with us.
If you're
When it comes to mass shootings, there is no universally accepted definition of a mass shooting. Different agencies define it based on different criteria. USA Today reports from 2006 to 2018, Idaho and Hawaii were the only states in the country to not have a mass shooting. But how did they determine that? What constitutes as a mass shooting? And does Monday's deadly mall shooting change those findings? Let's verify. Our sources are the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Congressional Research Service, and the Violence Project, as well as news magazine Mother Jones. The Congressional Research Service defines mass shootings as a multiple homicide incident in which 4 or more victims are murdered with firearms, not including the offender or offenders within one event. The FBI definition is essentially the same. The agency defines a mass shooting as any incident in which at least 4 people are murdered with a gun. Mother Jones tracks mass shootings in a national database using FBI data dating back to 1982. But Mother Jones also includes attacks dating from January 2013, in which 3 or more victims were killed. This after President Obama authorized a mandate lowering that baseline to 3 or more victims killed for federal investigations of mass shootings. Additional criteria for mass shootings state the shootings happen in a single location that is considered a public place. So while Monday's deadly shooting at the Boise Town Square Mall won't be logged as a mass shooting, based on this criteria, it will forever be seen and felt as a tragedy here in Idaho.
Welcome back to DBL. Before the coronavirus pandemic, there was another epidemic that touched millions of Americans. In fact, the opioid epidemic is still killing tens of thousands of Americans every year. Now, a new Hulu series called Dopesick is exposing the family behind it all. We spoke with the series writer and executive producer, Danny Strong. Check it out.
Danny Strong, welcome to DBL. I want to start right off with the Sackler family of Purdue Pharma fame. They made billions of dollars from OxyContin. What does Dopesick reveal about the Sackler family?
I think in watching Dopesick, you come to understand exactly how much they oversaw, ran, and were in charge of this company. For many years, they claimed that they were passively involved, that they were just on the board, and that all of the criminal behavior that they had pled, the company had pled guilty to in 2007, well, that was just people that were working under them, and that they weren't responsible. But what has come out in all the litigation and in discovery, all their emails, was that what they'd been saying for years was, surprise, surprise, completely untrue.
You know, a lot of people have talked about the Sackler family and the lengths they went to market OxyContin, despite it being super addictive. So what was the most surprising thing that you learned about this project? Because I'm sure there's a lot.
Yeah, so the most surprising thing I learned was literally everything I learned. I was stunned. Every new page of a book I would read, I just could not believe the extent that this company went to lie, deceive, manipulate, and that it all kind of came together is essentially a long con. And then when you go back in time to the scion of the family, Arthur Sackler, who created all the marketing techniques that his family utilized in the promotion of OxyContin, that this was the family playbook from the 50s and the 60s. Wow. That goes on and on and on. And I thought, wow, if I could dramatize this for an audience, they will be shocked and stunned.
I wanted to talk about the actual series. You got Keaton, Michael Keaton. Okay, he's my Batman. I love Keaton. He stars and is one of the executive producers on this series.
I too.
Right, what was it like working with him? And I hear he has a personal connection?
Yeah, so I never thought we had a chance to get Michael Keaton to play this role. The show's an ensemble, so it's not even the lead role.
Many of my patients are minors. It's dangerous work, and they carry the burden of building this nation on their backs. I can't believe how many of them are dead now.
And but his nephew had passed away from an overdose, so it was extremely personal to him. And then working with him, he's as cool and as down to earth as any superstar I've ever met. I mean, he's just everything you kind of imagine him to be.
Do you think the stigma around opioids is changing in real time?
Well, and I do want to put out there that I believe the majority of the doctors were deceived themselves, and that fell for the marketing materials, fell for the fake studies, because they read about them in respectable medical journals. There was also this redefining of opioids, that they are actually, and this started happening in the mid-'80s, but it really exploded, not coincidentally, at the launch of OxyContin, because it was all manipulated by Purdue, that we were now redefining opioid use, that opioid use has been stigmatized for decades, but it is now much safer than we ever would have imagined, right? That was part of Purdue's long con. So, and that doesn't mean there weren't criminal doctors as well that were running pill mills and taking advantage of the fact that the drug was so addictive and so easy for them to prescribe. But a number of those pill mill doctors have gone to prison with long-term prison sentences, 25 years, 30 years. But you know who hasn't even been criminally charged is the family of the company that did all the deception in the first place.
Danny Strong, thank you so much, first off, for joining us on DBL. And I rarely say that a piece of art is imperative to watch. This is Dopesick. It's streaming right now on Hulu, and new episodes drop Wednesday, so be sure to check it out. Thanks, Danny. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Programs have launched or are about to start in Arlington and Alexandria. Even DC has looked at it, so let's get you familiar with Universal Basic Income. To understand Universal Basic Income, or UBI, we went to Ben Gittes, an associate director from the Bipartisan Policy Center's Economic Policy Project. We went to Elaine Mogg, a researcher from the Tax Policy Center at the Urban Institute, and then several studies on UBI in the real world. So first, what is Universal Basic Income?
So basic income is the idea that every person in the country will have some standard of living provided to them.
So instead of having a number of different programs folks would go to, there would be one check that goes out to every single person. That would be their source of federal or government support.
The idea is that universal basic income could soften the burden of the rising costs of living in the United States and actually encourage more work. Which is another question a lot of people ask. Wouldn't that just discourage people from working if they're getting free money? Here, our experts disagree. Ben Gittes says UBI's goal is to get more people into the workforce and build careers, but
universal basic income at best does not help us achieve those objectives because we're simply giving people money.
While Elaine Mogg sees something else.
In Stockton, they found actually the benefit encouraged people to go to work, even though it wasn't based on work.
Which leads us to, does it work? Currently, the largest study was a 2-year program in Stockton, California. Here, the city gave an extra $500 a month to 125 residents for 2 years.
And what they found is that people who got the full benefit were more likely to increase the work hours.
But
there haven't been really any large-scale implementations of a universal basic income that would be insightful for U.S. federal policy for implementing that.
Which is why the pilot programs in Arlington, Alexandria, and now Montgomery County will be so important going forward. Today, the city of Chicago will be voting on one of the largest universal basic income programs. If it passes, 5,000 families will get an extra $500 a month. But as you heard our experts explain, that's the only way to really see if these programs work because everything else is theoretical until it hits the real world. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
This Friday on DBL, we're going all in for Halloween. We'll be getting all dressed up with looks from the shows you've been binging.
No, thank you. Thank you for having us.
No. Plus, we'll get a glimpse into our futures with a live psychic reading, and actress Justine Bateman will also be here live. You're invited to our big Halloween bash this Friday on DBL.
When I say don't miss Friday, I really do mean it. We are all wearing like iconic costumes. I don't want to give anything away.
We kind of just did.
No, we didn't.
Were you watching that?
Don't give away anything. We did not give anything away.
This is true.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be good, and we're all committed. Erica's going to be committed. You better be committed.
Wait, but how long do we have to talk like our character?
Probably we will have an entrance. I'll just give you guys a hint. We will have an entrance. During your entrance, you better talk like your character.
Oh. Wow. Break out a little Pastor Paul.
Are you in character right now? Because that sounded rough.
That's a little hint.
That's a hint.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Chrissy Tegan is still trying to make her way back from being canceled. Why she believes she should be forgiven. And before a vacation with friends, Susan Bender vanishes. In today's True Crime Chronicles, we're hearing why investigators are reopening this cold case.
is now recommending boosters for millions of people, prompting one big question: which one should I get? Enter the internet, trying to solve that question. A graphic has been circulating on social media ranking the 3 boosters for each of the vaccines. So let's verify, is this graphic based on real data? And what does it show about which boosters we should get? Our sources are the CDC, a study from the National Institute of Health, and these 2 medical experts. First, we could confirm that the data is real. It's based on this study from the NIH, which looked at 458 people, split into 9 groups. Each group had some combination of the 3 vaccines and 3 boosters. And the numbers referenced in that tweet show what's called the geometric mean fold rise.
Geometric fold rise refers to the level of antibodies that are measured after you get a vaccine. So anytime you boost, you're going to get a rise in antibody. They're going to rise 2-fold, 3-fold, whatever it might be.
And according to this data, it's clear there was a much bigger response to mRNA boosters. Our experts say that's especially the case for those who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. In that study, their antibodies jumped 4.6-fold after getting a J&J booster, but they jumped 32.8-fold for a Pfizer booster and 56.1-fold for a Moderna booster.
So clearly, J&J followed by one of the mRNA vaccines gives you a higher antibody level than if it were followed by J&J itself.
As for those who received an mRNA vaccine, meaning Moderna or Pfizer, our experts say that so far the data shows sticking with an mRNA booster is the way to go. Now we should note this is preliminary data, and the study itself points out that there are some limitations, including a small sample size. Also, Dr. Adalja points out that antibodies are just one way to measure immunity. So we can verify that yes, this graphic is based off of real numbers from the NIH, and so far it shows that an mRNA booster will create the most antibodies, especially if your original shot was Johnson & Johnson.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll. Wow. Welcome to DBL. I am Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Erica. Erica, you okay? Yeah, we just had a moment in the commercial break, but we're going to gather ourselves.
No more Al stories.
Yeah, no more Al stories.
Oh, I wish we could.
I know. We can't. So Chrissy Tegan is opening up about her cyberbullying scandal. Chrissy sat down with Hoda Kotb on the Today Show. So it was her first TV interview since being accused of bullying people online. Chrissy lost endorsements, but says she used her time out of the spotlight to reflect on her behavior. Watch.
You just kind of throw things out there and you don't know that you don't really think about the impact and the person on the other side. And like, I think about how much I've changed just in the past year and how much I've grown and learned. I feel like I've done the work, and I just hope these people can, forgive.
So Chrissy also revealed she is 100 days sober. She quit drinking because of the embarrassing way she was acting, especially around her husband, John Legend. Erica, you always speak about, you're the queen of the comeback, but they have to earn the comeback, according to you. Do you think Chrissy has earned it, or you're still holding out?
I think for some, she's earned it. But the truth is, you're not going to earn it from everyone. And I know that she has to come out and say these things in order to at least continue her accountability to her. But to look for everybody to forgive and forget is just a fool's errand.
Yeah, as long as someone's looking inward about their mistakes they made in the past, and I've always said, whatever you did in the past, mostly failures, you learn the biggest lessons from. She learned a big lesson from this. I'm not condoning what she did because it's horrific, right? Just like everything else written online that you write to people that you don't know. That's horrific. But people some days are going to have to look inward instead of looking outward, instead of blaming the internet or that person or this is the reason why I acted like this or that. Stop pointing fingers at everybody. Start looking inward of why you did something. She took accountability for it. She's 100 days sober, saying she was embarrassing. She's looking at herself in the mirror and taking her imperfections and working on that. I don't applaud what she did, but I applaud what she's doing now.
Well said.
Man, a lot of people can learn from her. It's people do things, especially when they're drinking, that's really embarrassing. I know I did. I mean, that's kind of the nature of drinking. It's a disinhibitor. It makes you be impulsive and do things you normally wouldn't. That's the incentive for drinking. And, I think that I heard a woman that is truly regretful, but at the same time, I don't know if telling people that you've changed is as impactful as showing them.
What do you think
and it
she
takes
should
longer.
do? What do you think she should?
I think it'll be a long-term thing. When you're sober, you can say it, but after a while, people will know, and you'll just change. It won't be as quickly as just like, okay, we're going to do this tour, apologize, and we're back to normal. It might be 2 years. It might be 4 years. But the more people see you, they'll look and they'll be like, that seems like a different person. And that's, I think, we'll see a slower shift than just like, I'm sorry, and everything's back to normal.
Right, and I hope she does. It seems like she is. It seems like she's putting in the work. We'll have to wait and see, to Al's point. So Angelina Jolie had an awkward exchange with a reporter. During an interview with Ppos, she was asked about her relationship with The Weeknd. The two have been spotted having dinner recently, but neither have confirmed that they are dating. So take a look at the interview.
So I have to know, were they more excited that you were in the Eternals or that you are friends with The Weeknd?
They're very excited about this film, if that's what you're asking. They're very excited about this film.
Angelina also opened up about her parenting style in the recent issue of People magazine. She said that she's not a perfect parent.
I am.
Al is, apparently, and often questions whether she's doing the right thing or not, but said her children's kindness has been very healing for her. So let's take it one thing at a time. What do you think of the awkward exchange with the reporter? It didn't feel that awkward.
It wasn't that awkward. What was awkward about it?
Dismissive, I think, would be the right word. She just didn't address it.
Well, she wanted to focus on the film.
But also, this would help folks on the film create a little.
Well, she did. She said Eternal. She plugged it.
I know, but like she could have. But The Weeknd, that's going to bring more. Oh, are they dating? Like she could have thrown a little like ambiguous.
Does she need to?
Yes.
I don't.
It's not like all the townspeople are talking about this movie.
All the townspeople.
It'll do fine, but it's not like Avatar 2 or something.
She completely ignored the question and deferred it. But I mean, who cares, right?
That's just an awkward thing all around, because chances are, I don't know who this reporter is, but it may not have even been their idea to ask the question. It's something that they wanted the answer to for this piece. And now you're in this super weird situation where it's like, I'm going to ask this question. I don't know how this person is going to respond. And then it's on you. So it's like she could have responded. I'm sure someone who wasn't an Angelina Jolie might have dangled that carrot. But Angelina Jolie has had all of her business in the street for decades at this point. I doubt that she needs to talk about The Weeknd.
But you have to ask that question.
As a reporter, to pull back, and we're not reporters, but to pull back that curtain, if you're interviewing somebody, you got to ask a question that might get some traction, so it gets out there a little bit more, right? So, and it's up to her to answer it the way she wants. She doesn't have to be rude about it. She could just kind of brush it off and move on, like a pro. That's what she did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So Paris Hilton is getting ready to walk down the aisle next month with her fiance, Carter Reum. Now, we have to look at some of their items in their wedding registry. Are you guys ready?
His name is Carter Reum?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sounds like expensive fabric.
It does. It does.
Like, don't sit on that. That's Carter Reum. Doesn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Just how rich people condescend you. Don't. That's you don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's Carter Reum. Don't you dare. Okay. So for $215, you can get the happy couple some ice tongs. Ice bucket is sold separately, of course. It's not included in the $215.
Why was tongs in quotes in the prompter?
Because it can mean other things, I guess.
I guess so.
I guess. Okay, so the silver candle holder will set you back. Are you ready? How much this silver candle holder? $1,220.
Oh, it's like her mom's baccarat. Baccarat.
Oh, baccarat.
Yeah.
How about a crystal vase? This one is only $4,900. And if you're feeling a bit creative, there is this satin crystal limited edition Greyhound sculpture.
I like that.
$3,650. Or if that's out of your budget, you can pick up a gold butterfly for $200. What a steal.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that she has a registry when she probably has everything under the sun? Why does she need a registry?
I don't know. I really don't. I went to a wedding that was a multi-million-dollar wedding, and I worked, apart from my full-time job, I worked Friday night bartending and Saturday afternoon before the wedding just to get a gift card, because the cheapest thing on there was like a fork for $250. So, yeah, I don't understand.
What do you think the thinking behind that is, though? Is that to shame your guests?
I don't understand. Why would you do that?
You guys wouldn't have that. None of you guys would have that on your registry.
I would not have a wedding registry.
I don't think it's to shame. I would not have a wedding registry either. I would. Why don't you donate to this charity? That's what I would say. Or just come and you're the gift, whatever it may be. But I don't think that she's shaming people. I think they live in a bubble. This is their world. All their friends and family are.
But that $200 butterfly.
$200 to them means nothing.
That's what I'm saying. So if you come with the butterfly, you're like, okay, you're in that category. You can't show up with that butterfly. Yeah, but if you have a
It is
boss,
judgment. Yeah.
It is.
It's judgment on what you buy, how much you spend. It's how much you
hate
care
it.
in that world.
Will you
right?
tell the Christina Applegate really quickly?
Oh,
What? I love Christina
I love
Applegate.
Jeff's stories.
No, well, this is embarrassing, and it's kind of well,
Oh, the
I don't
Lance
know.
Bass?
Yeah,
Yes,
I went
yes.
to Lance Bass's wedding. I actually told you this earlier today because I was so embarrassed. But I went to Lance Bass's wedding, and I got, I don't know what you do at a celebrity wedding.
Neither do I.
Yeah, so I don't know. And I was waiting in line because it was like, it was very put together. And I brought this big box. I
What
forgot
was in there?
I think some sort of
Like a
kitchen
toaster?
appliance or something. I don't know. I'm so embarrassed.
A toaster oven?
And I'm waiting in line, and then Christina Applegate's behind me, and all these people are in line. I'm like, where's everybody's gifts?
Because they sent them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I go inside and I go to my buddy Bob. I'm like, Bob, what's up, dude? I was out there for like 20 minutes holding this gift like a loser. And he's like, dude, you're supposed to like just send it to their house.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, what do I do with this? And he's like, that's the table for the presents. There was not one. I put my giant box on there. I was like, oh my God.
How embarrassing.
I love that you brought a gift,
I love that you did too.
That's what's
Me
up.
too.
embarrassing.
Yep.
It was
I
embarrassing.
love it. Okay, so before we go, the CEO of Spanx surprised her staff recently. Sarah Blakely celebrated selling a majority stake of her company for $1.2 billion by giving her staff 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world. But that's not all. Watch.
If you go on a trip, you might have to you might want to go out to a really nice dinner. You might want to go out to a really nice hotel. And so, with everybody's 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world, you are each getting $10,000.
Oh, that makes me emotional. It's so important to treat your employees who help build that company and share the wealth with them, because without them, you wouldn't be able to sell it for $1.2 billion. Kudos to her. Kudos to Spanx.
I think that that's a valuable lesson that a lot of corporations could learn. If you show that you have your employees' best interests and you want to see them do well and thrive, they will produce for you. Like all of this reverse psychology of treating people like crap, I grew up and my parents would have people who would have big parties and stuff. That's part of the reason why I do it, is because I think that if you can come together as a community, even though you're coworkers, then it just makes everything go so much better. So I think that this is a really great example of what can happen.
Well said. Coming up on DBL, the search for a California woman goes cold, but investigators reopen the case decades later. How justice could finally be found in today's True Crime Chronicles.
Closed captioning provided by
Yeah, so I love that story too about the Spanx woman, just because it's like, man, she started that business in her garage, right? And she climbed the ladder financially, the corporate world, started her own business, gave other people livelihoods, and then she gave back, right? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help people up on your way up that are up there already, and you help people up that ladder. And that's what she's doing. She's up on top, and she's helping people up that ladder. That's what you're supposed to do with success. Not take advantage of it, not abuse people with it. You're supposed to help the next person coming up the ladder.
And you know what? It actually motivates your workers.
Yeah.
She sees them as people that got her to where she is, so she's rewarding them. She's like, thank God I was able to sell this company because of you all. Here's your reward. But that also is very, some people that think, I guess selfishly, that is a very, what am I trying to say? What's the word where you're investing in your people, but you're actually getting the result?
Savvy business move?
No.
Gratifying? Because it's got to be gratifying for her too to give back.
But it also is getting the result that you want. Like to Erica's point, some people will think the result that I want is to make more money.
I'm waiting for you to pull out a line that
I don't
is
know
not
what's
it.
happening here.
It's a mutual investment.
What's good for the goose is gander.
I'm saying even if you're a selfish person, you get the reward back
Right.
because
It's mutually beneficial. There's an investment. So it's not
spanking a hand.
It's not just a, you do the work and you get paid. It's like you put more effort into it, help the company grow, and then you get a residual benefit after that, which a lot of companies don't think that way. And my husband worked for a company that was very much that way. And as a result, they had a lot of success. And so what we try to do, for our as employees and as people who have businesses, is
do things for other people to keep the morale up so that people want to produce.
Okay, Erica.
Oh, it's me? Welcome back to DBL. No federal database tracks the number of missing Native American women in this country. Estimates range from 116 to as many as 5,000 women who have vanished without a trace. Today, we're shining a light on just one of those cases, the disappearance of Susan Robin Bender. That's today's True Crime Chronicles.
It's April 25th, 1986. Susan Robin Bender is waiting at the 10th and G Street Greyhound bus depot in Modesto, California. Susan plans to travel to Carmel by the Sea, a small coastal town about 120 miles west of Modesto, to meet up with her friends for the day. But in moments, her life will change forever.
We hung out a lot. We would bike ride. We would walk. We would do a lot of stuff together.
Susan is at a payphone making a phone call. In her luggage, Susan has packed her diary, an address book, and some clothes. But instead of boarding a bus bound for Carmel, she is seen climbing into a full-size green van. The van drives off, and Susan Robin Bender vanishes.
We had hope that she would be found alive in some way.
Police begin searching for her, knowing that the next 24 hours are critical in missing persons cases. However, Susan's disappearance makes little to no national headlines. And the following day, on April 26th, the Soviet nuclear power plant at Chernobyl explodes. In the months that follow, this disaster dominates global attention as news agencies around the world obsess over the cleanup. But in Modesto, California, Susan's family finds no relief. Police track down a suspect, but they don't publicly identify him to the press, despite discovering Susan's diary, address book, and clothes at the suspect's house. And ultimately, authorities make no arrest nor file any charges. Susan is slowly forgotten, and her case goes cold. However, in October 2021, California's Modesto Police Department makes a surprising announcement. They reopen Susan's 35-year-old cold case and reignite hope that one day Susan Robin Bender may finally find justice.
I can't call it closure because I don't think you get closure. You just get some type of justice.
Susan was just 15 years old when she disappeared. Today, she would have been in her 50s. Earlier, we caught up with Madison Wade, a reporter at ABC 10 in Sacramento, California. Here's what she had to tell us. Madison, thanks for taking the time to chat with us about Susan's disappearance. Why has Modesto PD reopened the case?
So they have looked at cases throughout the history of their cold case unit to try to find ones that are solvable. And this is one that stood out to the Modesto Police Department. When we pressed them on exactly why they're reopening this case, they weren't able to give us much more details, probably for a good reason. And we don't want to jeopardize what that might be. But they did tell us that they identified some potential areas of opportunity which may lead them to a possible suspect and moving this case forward. This includes advancements in technology, probably genetic genealogy as well. And they also were saying that they could have more information about some individuals that were previously unidentified that could be part of Susan's disappearance that they haven't spoken to yet. So again, putting this out into the media, into the local news always helps, brings in a lot of tips. I know from my series Unsolved California, anytime we do a story on any case, every single department, police agency gets hundreds of tips from people. So we do know that that is a tool our local police departments like to use.
There are so few details about Susan's disappearance. Why do you think her case has gotten so little attention?
It's a great question, and one we actually asked Modesto police as well. And again, it's been 36 years now, so it's hard to say exactly why there wasn't so much media attention at the very beginning when this happened. It could be her age. She was 15 years old. As we know now in the news media, when we hear of a 15-year-old missing, it's, well, were they at risk? Are they running away from something? Was this their own decision? So that could be playing into it. It also could be her background, the fact she was a Native American descent as well. We do know missing white woman syndrome is a real thing. We just saw that with the Gabby Petito case, and that is still ongoing. We actually talked to a criminologist, Zach Summers, who published a study about the missing white woman syndrome. And he said and found that white girls and women make up a third of America's population, and they were the subject of half of the news stories that they examined.
During their initial investigation, the police found Susan's belongings at the home of the suspect, but no arrest was ever made. I find that problematic. Can you tell me why?
Absolutely. And I wish I had a very clear answer as to why. But what we do know is that her diary, her address book, some other items, personal items, she had a bracelet on at the time that she was taken, a gold bracelet. So some other items we don't exactly know. Some clothing were also located at the suspect's home after she vanished. Now, this person has been cleared. They were never arrested as part of this investigation because of a lack of evidence. Again, 36 years ago, that is a long time ago when DNA evidence wasn't that pertinent. Of course, now we know DNA evidence is the key to solving so many of these cases. So it is quite possible that that person they were looking at initially when they found some of her items, they're looking at again. And we just don't know. We don't want to jeopardize the case. Modesto Police is reopening this case for a very good reason. And that is possibly one of the biggest reasons.
Well, I mean, we certainly appreciate your efforts in this case. I know that we are blasting this everywhere because we want people to jog their memories. We want people to come forward if they have any information. Madison, thank you so much for chatting with us and for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
Since reopening her case, Modesto PD has reported no new developments. Anyone with information about Susan can call the Modesto Police at 209-342-9104. But for now, it seems Susan's disappearance will remain unsolved. We'll be right back.
We all know.
When it comes to mass shootings, there is no universally accepted definition of a mass shooting. Different agencies define it based on different criteria. USA Today reports from 2006 to 2018, Idaho and Hawaii were the only states in the country to not have a mass shooting. But how did they determine that? What constitutes as a mass shooting? And does Monday's deadly mall shooting change those findings? Let's verify. Our sources are the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Congressional Research Service, and the Violence Project, as well as news magazine Mother Jones. The Congressional Research Service defines mass shootings as a multiple homicide incident in which 4 or more victims are murdered with firearms, not including the offender or offenders within one event. The FBI definition is essentially the same. The agency defines a mass shooting as any incident in which at least 4 people are murdered with a gun. Mother Jones tracks mass shootings in a national database using FBI data dating back to 1982. But Mother Jones also includes attacks dating from January 2013, in which 3 or more victims were killed. This after President Obama authorized a mandate lowering that baseline to 3 or more victims killed for federal investigations of mass shootings. Additional criteria for mass shootings state the shootings happen in a single location that is considered a public place. So while Monday's deadly shooting at the Boise Town Square Mall won't be logged as a mass shooting, based on this criteria, it will forever be seen and felt as a tragedy here in Idaho.
Welcome back to DBL. It is open enrollment season, and we have some tips to make it easy. So it's time for some helpful healthcare tips presented by Health Markets. Let's start simple. Hmos and Ppos are two types of popular health plans. HMO plans tend to have a strict network of providers that your insurance will cover, while PPO plans will cover costs of out-of-network providers. And finally, deductibles and premiums are separate costs that come out of your pocket. Premiums are the monthly payment you make for your plan, and the deductible is the maximum out-of-pocket expenses that you're responsible for before your insurance kicks in. So finding a plan with a lower deductible could actually save you a lot of money. Health Markets help you find a plan in minutes, so just call 800-390-9633 or log on to healthmarkets.com. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
programs have launched or are about to start in Arlington and Alexandria. Even DC has looked at it, so let's get you familiar with Universal Basic Income. To understand Universal Basic Income, or UBI, we went to Ben Gittes, an associate director from the Bipartisan Policy Center's Economic Policy Project. We went to Elaine Mogg, a researcher from the Tax Policy Center at the Urban Institute, and then several studies on UBI in the real world. So first, what is Universal Basic Income?
So basic income is the idea that every person in the country will have some standard of living provided to them.
So instead of having a number of different programs folks would go to, there would be one check that goes out to every single person. That would be their source of federal or government support.
The idea is that universal basic income could soften the burden of the rising costs of living in the United States and actually encourage more work. Which is another question a lot of people ask. Wouldn't that just discourage people from working if they're getting free money? Here our experts disagree. Ben Gittes says UBI's goal is to get more people into the workforce and build careers, but
universal basic income at best does not help us achieve those objectives because we're simply giving people money.
While Elaine Mogg sees something else.
In Stockton, they found actually the benefit encouraged people to go to work even though it wasn't based on work.
Which leads us to, does it work? Currently, the largest study was a 2-year program in Stockton, California. Here, the city gave an extra $500 a month to 125 residents for 2 years.
And what they found is that people who got the full benefit were more likely to increase the work hours.
But
there haven't been really any large-scale implementations of a universal basic income that would be insightful for U.S. federal policy for implementing that.
Which is why the pilot programs in Arlington, Alexandria, and now Montgomery County will be so important going forward. Today, the city of Chicago will be voting on one of the largest universal basic income programs. If it passes, 5,000 families will get an extra $500 a month. But as you heard our experts explain, that's the only way to really see if these programs work because everything else is theoretical until it hits the real world. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
Tomorrow on DBL, Fear the Walking Dead star Jenna Elfman is here live, talking about her big break and how she wanted Dharma and Greg to end. And magician Matt Franco's tricks will blow your mind. He reveals his most embarrassing moment on stage. That's tomorrow on DBL.
AGT, right?
Huh?
Was he on AGT?
Oh, are you a big AGT fan?
I am. I like that guy.
All right, he recognized him from America's Got Talent. Not everybody knows what AGT
It's
means.
showbiz talk.
Thanks for the inside scoop.
Now recommending boosters for millions of people, prompting one big question: which one should I get? Enter the internet, trying to solve that question. A graphic has been circulating on social media ranking the 3 boosters for each of the vaccines. So let's verify, is this graphic based on real data? And what does it show about which boosters we should get? Our sources are the CDC, a study from the National Institute of Health, and these 2 medical experts. First, we could confirm that the data is real. It's based on this study from the NIH, which looked at 458 people, split into 9 groups. Each group had some combination of the 3 vaccines and 3 boosters. And the numbers referenced in that tweet show what's called the geometric mean fold rise.
Geometric fold rise refers to the level of antibodies that are measured after you get a vaccine. So anytime you boost, you're going to get a rise in antibody. They're going to rise 2-fold, 3-fold, whatever it might be.
And according to this data, it's clear there was a much bigger response to mRNA boosters. Our experts say that's especially the case for those who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. In that study, their antibodies jumped 4.6-fold after getting a J&J booster, but they jumped 32.8-fold for a Pfizer booster and 56.1-fold for a Moderna booster.
So clearly, J&J, followed by one of the mRNA vaccines, gives you a higher antibody level than if it were followed by J&J itself.
As for those who received an mRNA vaccine, meaning Moderna or Pfizer, our experts say that so far the data shows sticking with an mRNA booster is the way to go. Now we should note this is preliminary data, and the study itself points out that there are some limitations, including a small sample size. Also, Dr. Adalja points out that antibodies are just one way to measure immunity. So we can verify that yes, this graphic is based off of real numbers from the NIH, and so far it shows that an mRNA booster will create the most antibodies, especially if your original shot was Johnson & Johnson.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Squid Game is a violent smash hit on Netflix, but should schools ban Halloween costumes from the show? A mom is outraged by her 12-year-old school photos being digitally altered. Is retouching photos only appropriate for adults? Can Chrissy Tegan make a cancel club comeback after her cyberbullying controversy?
I feel like I've done the work, and I just hope these people can, forgive.
And from a $5,000 vase to a $1,200 candle holder, wait till you see what's in Paris Hilton's wedding registry.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll. Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, October 27th. I'm Sam here with my friends Al, Jeff, and Erica. So we do have a quick update on the story that we have all been following about the shooting on Alec Baldwin's movie Rust that killed the cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. The gaffer on the film, who you see here alongside Halyna, is talking about the incident on Facebook. He says he worked with her on almost all of her films and said he held her in his arms while she was dying. He also posted this picture saying it is the last photo on set with Halyna. You can see Alec in the background. This is the scene they were filming in the church just before the shooting. So there was a press conference earlier this morning, and they released some new details about the investigation. Take a listen.
Through the execution of search warrants, we have collected about 600 items of evidence. These include, but are not limited to, 3 firearms, approximately 500 rounds of ammunition, and several pieces of clothing and accessories. We believe that we have in our possession the firearm that was fired by Mr. Baldwin.
All options are on the table at this point. I'm not commenting on charges, whether they will be filed or not, or on whom. No one has been ruled out at this point.
Wow. So New Mexico is definitely on top of this investigation, and they're going to get to the bottom of it, according to them. Jeff, I didn't get to hear a lot of your opinions on this. Like, we had Cam on the show, who you love, Cam Matheson on the show. He talked about being an actor and being on set. I know that your experience as an actor, have you ever experienced any of this? Apparently there was live ammunition mixed with the blanks all over the set that they found.
It's crazy.
Being on set, and again, the movies that I do are very low budget, right? This is an Alec Baldwin movie. The ones I'm in, I shot one during COVID. There was such protocol. SAG was there every day. We had it before we went on to set. We had to get tested, sit there. This is a low budget film, right? If you have kids on set, there's someone there to watch it. If you have animals on set, someone is specifically there to handle that animal. I don't know how it got to this point that there's 500 rounds of ammunition. A gun went off apparently even before this one. It's like, where is SAG? Where's the union? Where are the people looking after these firearms, the specialists that are supposed to be looking after this? Is this necessarily her job? I don't think so.
I mean, whenever there's a profit motive and you have a budget, your job is to try and cut corners to increase your profit as much as possible. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is probably the motivation for why we had people that were inexperienced, people that were not union, people that should not have been in a position that they were in. And they acted like it. Things were left out. Live ammunition is mixed with blanks, which seems crazy, but it's what happens when you have inexperienced people doing anything. If you had me running a neighborhood pool, I don't know, I can barely swim. Like that, it would be clear in a couple days that I shouldn't have been there. And this is what happened here. We saw incident after incident. People were leaving Erica, and this is the culmination.
Honestly, I'm just like, at this point, this don't make no damn sense. It really doesn't. I mean, the idea that you're like, even have live ammunition on the set. How many people, how many actors who have worked with any type of firearms would have had that type of comfort to know that live ammunition is even around? Like, what would be the reason for live ammunition to even be on the set or in the proximity of a set? Like, there are just so many egregious, I wouldn't even say missteps, it's negligence at this point.
So do you think criminal charges will be filed?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
All right.
Well, so if they're not, what's the situation would be? If it's not this situation,
I guarantee you there will be.
There has to be.
I know. We'll continue to follow that story. Okay, switching gears here. We all know that Halloween is this weekend, and guess what? Right here at DBL, we're going to be celebrating Halloween here in the studio this Friday. We're all going to dress up. So you guys have to make sure you tune in to see who each of us are. They're good. Like, I mean, the costumes are really good.
I was really surprised at how good they are.
Oh, they're going to be so good. So make
really
sure that you tune in on Friday. Speaking of dressing up, some elementary schools in upstate New York are banning Squid Game Halloween costumes. So one of the principals sent a letter explaining that costumes like these are banned due to concerns about the potential violent nature of the game. So in case you don't know, in the hit Netflix show, contestants compete in children's games like red light, green light for a large cash prize. But guess what? Their lives are on the line. So what are your thoughts on kids dressing up in costumes from violent TV shows or movies? What do you think about this, Jeff?
Here's what I think. We need to stop coddling everybody. That's what I need to think. We have video games where you could blow people's head off, chop them in half, but we say that doesn't affect children because it's a huge market, right? How is one day out of the year dressing up like somebody, whether it be Michael Myers or whoever it may be, a problem? We have to coddle everybody in America to say, like, this is wrong and now maybe we should just take it off the market. That's not going to change people's behaviors. They're still going to act how they act. Whether you dress up one day like this, I just think it's going a little bit too far. But I see the concern, but it's too far for me.
I think you're right. I mean, we're talking about one day or every single day. I don't play video games at all, but we rented Mortal Kombat, the new one.
Oh my gosh, I loved Mortal Kombat.
I didn't know, because I'm an older gentleman, that the fatality scenes have changed. But like, I did one, like when you
from back in the day.
Yeah, they're not like very mellow Nintendo anymore.
Whoa.
When I did the fatality move, I was just practicing.
Yeah.
I lunged for Ford and tried to cover his eyes because it was so graphic.
But they were always graphic.
But the graphics are 10 times better, 20 times better than when we were growing up. So it's violent. And so if he can see that every day, that was in March. So now what, just October 31st, we're locking it down?
YouTube, you could see the most horrific things in the whole world. But don't put a costume out that might represent something. For me, it's too much.
Do you think it's too much, Erica? I almost called you Ari.
I like that.
Well, that's what you call your sister, Erica.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have children, but I have a host of nieces and nephews and godchildren. And at first, I was very confused by this because I'm like, why are they singling out a single franchise like Squid Game? But the truth is, in most schools, you can't dress as violent characters, and a big part of that has to do with the acts that come along with being dressed up. in violent characters. Apparently, this school had an issue with the kids actually playing out scenes from Squid Game.
Yes.
So, I mean, that costume obviously doesn't look inherently violent, but if they're also putting actions behind it, I can understand why they would say they're going to add it to the list.
Yeah,
of
I think this is a very
characters.
specific situation, but I totally agree with you.
While their moms pick them up in their dirty nurse costumes, I'm like, don't dress my kid like that. Okay, easy fishnet.
Easy fishnet. We're gonna go to the next story after easy fishnet.
Keeping up with the theme about kids. So some moms are upset, and dads. Why is it always got to be the moms? I'm sure dads are upset too. With the company doing school photos for their kids, they say they're encouraging parents to pay $12 to have their kids' photos digitally retouched. So one mom posted this before and after, showing how her 12-year-old son's freckles were removed in the touched-up photo. Another mom told the New York Post it's teaching kids that they need to look perfect all the time and that they can change with the click of a mouse. I would be furious. I get that at least they're putting it in the consent of the parents. I still think it's wrong. But I know that in the past, we've seen schools kind of do this on their own without any consent from the parents.
Sure.
Creepy.
I could have used some digital retouching, especially how bad the lighting was being one of... there were less than 10 children of color in my school, and the lighting was so horrific. My mustache was deeper than my dad's by the time that it got to the yearbook. So I think
compare the two. I think shame on that school for not having proper lighting for the diversity of their children. But I don't like the idea of then taking an image and then erasing freckles or narrowing a nose. That's what's happening at this school. The parents can decide to narrow their children's noses.
But I don't think that I look at it the other way. I thought this was just lazy editing. They just put the full blowout where they just took all the
there shouldn't be
imagery
any
from the
editing on children.
Says you, and I agree. But I think a lot of parents would be like, "Hey, can you take the peanut butter off my kid's face?"
That's
like
different.
Other parents want their kids to look differently.
Taking something that can easily be removed, like because they ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich compared to
I'm saying I don't want any editing.
I think
that's over the top.
But that's what's happening at this school.
I don't even think they were even doing that. They were just like, they just blew the face out, so there was nothing on it. It looked worse. I like the freckles.
With that?
I'm furious that they have an upcharge for this. It should come with the package.
Exactly. Fix my kid for $12.
All right, we'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
seriousness, I don't think, I mean, it should be up to the parent. I'm not into Photoshop, but Erica made a really good example of why maybe there should be. For me, if my kid has something on his face or his teeth are messed up because he lost his tooth that morning, or he has a swollen lip, whatever it may be, I want those memories. I want that. Like, hey, remember when you were 3? Everyone looks back at pictures and you're like, look at your hair. My mom cut it like that. You know, it's like, I want those photos. And again, I want to keep them innocent as long as you can, because they're going to get into this digital world with filters and things like that. And little kids, unless there's a reason, like you said, you gave a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, leave it alone.
Yeah, I think for my point was with the lighting and not having people who are able to deal with diverse skin tones and all of that. Like, there were some things that I absolutely they should have had retouching for. But when it comes to the actual characteristics that the child is born with, even though I may have had a little bit of a mustache, it didn't have to be that dark, okay? It didn't.
Erica, I was going to say this. I think for as much as we attack Instagram and things like that, I do think Instagram has shown, like literally through numbers of followers, that people that have kind of a diverse look, people like that. I mean, obviously there's the Ashley Grahams and the plus size models, but also there are models that have like heavy freckles, and it's like, it's a really cool look.
It is a really
people with vitiligo, I saw a Gap ad years ago. It was a young woman, like 12, with vitiligo. Yeah, and it looked awesome. So I do think Instagram, for as bad as it's done with some things, has highlighted the fact that other people look different, and clearly, just by the numbers, people like it.
It's a really good point.
Yeah, but then why cover it up, though?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think it was just lazy.
Let people. I love those photos of like the up close older actors where you can see like every wrinkle, you know, and that's just like
it looks like life in their face.
I love those photos. I think they're so cool. You know, like.
Welcome back to DBL. So who do you guys think is more emotional, men or women?
Men.
Oh, Erica Cobb. A new study from the University of Michigan found that men are just as emotional as women. They followed a group of 142 men and women over 75 days, and they found little to no emotional differences between male and female groups. Erica Cobb, take it away.
I do believe that men are as emotional, if not more emotional than women. We just call it passion. But we also, men have not been allowed to show emotion from the time that they were very young, and that's something that society's trying to correct. So we see it in very different ways. It might come out as aggression or passion, or things that when we talk about women, it's seen as weakness and vulnerability.
I totally agree. I have a lot of passion. That you said that right. You said that right. But I also have emotion. Ever since my kids were born, Jordan, my wife, will even tell you, I cry more than her. Like there's a commercial, like Snuggle the Bear will come on and rub his blanket. And I'm like, oh man, it's so cute, Snuggles. Like I'll cry. And she's like turned cold. She's like, get over it. It's like we switch roles.
It's so true, bro. Since we're talking about, I cried this weekend. I was waiting. Elijah he's at the age where he goes in the mall by himself, now. And so at the Westfield Mall. So I'm waiting, and like Ford is in the back seat, and he was listening to like "It's Raining Tacos," and he was singing it, and like for a parent of a child that I didn't know if he was going to speak or not, like for him to be saying, I was just like crying as my son got in the car. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?
Right now, and
your dad's a mess right now." Oh yeah. So it's a beautiful thing, and I just feel sorry for all the men that came before me that couldn't emote or feel comfortable to, because I have no problem.
Well, there's a lot of men probably watching right now that still don't feel comfortable emoting. So how do we change that? What would you guys say?
Make them comfortable with it. Like even my friends in LA or whatever back home, I'm like, let's cry. Let's have some drinks, get emotional, and cry. It feels good. I'd always say, let's go get emotional by the ocean. Because it's emotional. It's like, I like that. You have to make it like part of the thing. And even my friends now, I'm like, yeah, I cry a lot. And they're like, they kind of give me a look, but you got to ease them into it.
You have to get it out. It's in there. It's good and bad. I think this idea that men are just like, I'm just not going to let anything out. I'm just going to bury it under beer and vodka.
It's going to come out.
That did not work.
It's going to
It comes out.
It's about creating a safe space too. Like I would I'd far rather see a man in my life cry than take his emotions out in a different way that aren't going to be as healthy. So creating that safe space is important.
Amen. I love it. We are equally emotional up here. Coming up on DBL, we're chatting with the creator of Dope Sick, a new series zeroing in on America's opioid crisis. Stay with us.
When it comes to mass shootings, there is no universally accepted definition of a mass shooting. Different agencies define it based on different criteria. USA Today reports from 2006 to 2018, Idaho and Hawaii were the only states in the country to not have a mass shooting. But how did they determine that? What constitutes as a mass shooting? And does Monday's deadly mall shooting change those findings? Let's verify. Our sources are the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Congressional Research Service, and the Violence Project, as well as news magazine Mother Jones. The Congressional Research Service defines mass shootings as a multiple homicide incident in which 4 or more victims are murdered with firearms, not including the offender or offenders within one event. The FBI definition is essentially the same. The agency defines a mass shooting as any incident in which at least 4 people are murdered with a gun. Mother Jones tracks mass shootings in a national database using FBI data dating back to 1982. But Mother Jones also includes attacks dating from January 2013, in which 3 or more victims were killed. This after President Obama authorized a mandate lowering that baseline to 3 or more victims killed for federal investigations of mass shootings. Additional criteria for mass shootings state the shootings happen in a single location that is considered a public place. So while Monday's deadly shooting at the Boise Town Square Mall won't be logged as a mass shooting, based on this criteria, it will forever be seen and felt as a tragedy here in Idaho.
Welcome back to DBL. Before the coronavirus pandemic, there was another epidemic that touched millions of Americans. In fact, the opioid epidemic is still killing tens of thousands of Americans every year. Now, a new Hulu series called Dopesick is exposing the family behind it all. We spoke with the series writer and executive producer, Danny Strong. Check it out.
Danny Strong, welcome to DBL. I want to start right off with the Sackler family of Purdue Pharma fame. They made billions of dollars from OxyContin. What does Dopesick reveal about this Sackler family?
I think in watching Dopesick, you come to understand exactly how much they oversaw, ran, and were in charge of this company. For many years, they claimed that they were passively involved, that they were just on the board, and that all of the criminal behavior that they had pled, the company had pled guilty to in 2007, well, that was just people that were working under them, and that they weren't responsible. But what has come out in all the litigation and in discovery, all their emails, was that what they'd been saying for years was, surprise, surprise, completely untrue.
You know, a lot of people have talked about the Sackler family and the lengths they went to market OxyContin, despite it being super addictive. So what was the most surprising thing that you learned about this project? Because I'm sure there's a lot.
Yeah, so the most surprising thing I learned was literally everything I learned. I was stunned. Every new page of a book I would read, I just could not believe the extent that this company went to lie, deceive, manipulate, and that it all kind of came together is essentially a long con. And then when you go back in time to the scion of the family, Arthur Sackler, who created all the marketing techniques that his family utilized in the promotion of OxyContin, that this was the family playbook from the 50s and the 60s. Wow. That goes on and on and on. And I thought, wow, if I could dramatize this for an audience, they will be shocked and stunned.
I wanted to talk about the actual series. You got Keaton, Michael Keaton. Okay, he's my Batman. I love Keaton. He stars and is one of the executive producers on this series.
I too.
Right, what was it like working with him? And I hear he has a personal connection?
Yeah, so I never thought we had a chance to get Michael Keaton to play this role. The show's an ensemble, so it's not even the lead role.
Many of my patients are minors. It's dangerous work, and they carry the burden of building this nation on their backs. I can't believe how many of them are dead now.
And but his nephew had passed away from an overdose, so it was extremely personal to him. And then working with him, he's as cool and as down to earth as any superstar I've ever met. I mean, he's just everything you kind of imagine him to be.
Do you think the stigma around opioids is changing in real time?
Well, and I do want to put out there that I believe the majority of the doctors were deceived themselves, and that fell for the marketing materials, fell for the fake studies, because they read about them in respectable medical journals. There was also this redefining of opioids, that they're actually, and this started happening in the mid-'80s, but it really exploded, not coincidentally, at the launch of OxyContin, because it was all manipulated by Purdue, that we were now redefining opioid use, that opioid use has been stigmatized for decades, but it is now much safer than we ever would have imagined, right? That was part of Purdue's long con. So, and that doesn't mean there weren't criminal doctors as well that were running pill mills and taking advantage of the fact that the drug was so addictive and so easy for them to prescribe. But a number of those pill mill doctors have gone to prison with long-term prison sentences, 25 years, 30 years. But you know who hasn't even been criminally charged is the family of the company that did all the deception in the first place.
Danny Strong, thank you so much, first off, for joining us on DBL. And I rarely say that a piece of art is imperative to watch. This is Dopesick. It's streaming right now on Hulu, and new episodes drop Wednesday, so be sure to check it out. Thanks, Danny. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Programs have launched launched or are about to start in Arlington and Alexandria. Even D.C. has looked at it, so let's get you familiar with Universal Basic Income. To understand Universal Basic Income, or UBI, we went to Ben Gittes, an associate director from the Bipartisan Policy Center's Economic Policy Project. We went to Elaine Mogg, a researcher from the Tax Policy Center at the Urban Institute, and then several studies on UBI in the real world. So first, what is Universal Basic Income?
So basic income is the idea that every person in the country will have some standard of living provided to them.
So instead of having a number of different programs folks would go to, there would be one check that goes out to every single person. That would be their source of federal or government support.
The idea is that universal basic income could soften the burden of the rising costs of living in the United States and actually encourage more work. Which is another question a lot of people ask. Wouldn't that just discourage people from working if they're getting free money? Here, our experts disagree. Ben Gittes says UBI's goal is to get more people into the workforce and build careers, but
universal basic income at best does not help us achieve those objectives because we're simply giving people money.
While Elaine Mogg sees something else.
In Stockton, they found actually the benefit encouraged people to go to work, even though it wasn't based on work.
Which leads us to, does it work? Currently, the largest study was a 2-year program in Stockton, California. Here, the city gave an extra $500 a month to 125 residents for 2 years.
And what they found is that people who got the full benefit were more likely to increase the work hours.
But
there haven't been really any large-scale implementations of a universal basic income that would be insightful for U.S. federal policy for implementing that.
Which is why the pilot programs in Arlington, Alexandria, and now Montgomery County will be so important going forward. Today, the city of Chicago will be voting on one of the largest universal basic income programs. If it passes, 5,000 families will get an extra $500 a month. But as you heard our experts explain, that's the only way to really see if these programs work because everything else is theoretical until it hits the real world. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
This Friday on DBL, we're going all in for Halloween. We'll be getting all dressed up with looks from the shows you've been binging.
No, thank you. Thank you for having us.
No. Plus, we'll get a glimpse into our futures with a live psychic reading, and actress Justine Bateman will also be here live. You're invited to our big Halloween bash this Friday on DBL.
When I say don't miss Friday, I really do mean it. We are all wearing like iconic costumes. I don't want to give anything away.
We kind of just did.
No, we didn't.
Were you watching that?
Don't give away anything. We did not give anything away.
This is true.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be good, and we're all committed. Erica's going to be committed. You better be committed.
Wait, but how long do we have to talk like our character?
Probably when we will have an entrance. I'll just give you guys a hint. We will have an entrance. During your entrance, you better talk like your character.
Oh. Wow. Break out a little Pastor Paul.
Are you in character right now? Because that sounded rough.
That's a little hint.
That's a hint.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Chrissy Tegan is still trying to make her way back from being canceled. Why she believes she should be forgiven. And before a vacation with friends, Susan Bender vanishes. In today's True Crime Chronicles, we're hearing why investigators are reopening this cold case.
now recommending boosters for millions of people, prompting one big question: which one should I get? Enter the internet, trying to solve that question. A graphic has been circulating on social media ranking the 3 boosters for each of the vaccines. So let's verify, is this graphic based on real data? And what does it show about which boosters we should get? Our sources are the CDC, a study from the National Institute of Health, and these 2 medical experts. First, we could confirm that the data is real. It's based on this study from the NIH, which looked at 458 people, split into 9 groups. Each group had some combination of the 3 vaccines and 3 boosters. And the numbers referenced in that tweet show what's called the geometric mean fold rise.
Geometric fold rise refers to the level of antibodies that are measured after you get a vaccine. So anytime you boost, you're going to get a rise in antibody. They're going to rise 2-fold, 3-fold, whatever it might be.
And according to this data, it's clear there was a much bigger response to mRNA boosters. Our experts say that's especially the case for those who got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. In that study, their antibodies jumped 4.6-fold after getting a J&J booster, but they jumped 32.8-fold for a Pfizer booster and 56.1-fold for a Moderna booster.
So clearly, J&J, followed by one of the mRNA vaccines, gives you a higher antibody level than if it were followed by J&J itself.
As for those who received an mRNA vaccine, meaning Moderna or Pfizer, our experts say that so far the data shows sticking with an mRNA booster is the way to go. Now we should note this is preliminary data, and the study itself points out that there are some limitations, including a small sample size. Also, Dr. Adalja points out that antibodies are just one way to measure immunity. So we can verify that yes, this graphic is based off of real numbers from the NIH, and so far it shows that an mRNA booster will create the most antibodies, especially if your original shot was Johnson & Johnson.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
No.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll. Wow. Welcome to DBL. I am Sam here with Al, Jeff, and Erica. Erica, you okay? Yeah, we just had a moment in the commercial break, but we're going to gather ourselves.
No more Al stories.
Yeah, no more Al stories.
Oh, I wish we could.
I know. We can't. So Chrissy Tegan is opening up about her cyberbullying scandal. Chrissy sat down with Hoda Kotb on the Today Show. So it was her first TV interview since being accused of bullying people online. Chrissy lost endorsements, but says she used her time out of the spotlight to reflect on her behavior. Watch.
You just kind of throw things out there and you don't know that you don't really think about the impact and the person on the other side. And like, I think about how much I've changed just in the past year and how much I've grown and learned. I feel like I've done the work, and I just hope these people can, forgive.
So Chrissy also revealed she is 100 days sober. She quit drinking because of the embarrassing way she was acting, especially around her husband, John Legend. Erica, you always speak about, you're the queen of the comeback, but they have to earn the comeback, according to you. Do you think Chrissy has earned it, or you're still holding out?
I think for some, she's earned it. But the truth is, you're not going to earn it from everyone. And I know that she has to come out and say these things in order to at least continue her accountability to her. But to look for everybody to forgive and forget is just a fool's errand.
Yeah, as long as someone's looking inward about their mistakes they made in the past, and I've always said, whatever you did in the past, mostly failures, you learn the biggest lessons from. She learned a big lesson from this. I'm not condoning what she did because it's horrific, right? Just like everything else written online that you write to people that you don't know. That's horrific. But people some days are going to have to look inward instead of looking outward, instead of blaming the internet or that person or this is the reason why I acted like this or that. Stop pointing fingers at everybody. Start looking inward of why you did something. She took accountability for it. She's 100 days sober, saying she was embarrassing. She's looking at herself in the mirror and taking her imperfections and working on that. I don't applaud what she did, but I applaud what she's doing now.
Well said.
Man, a lot of people can learn from her. It's people do things, especially when they're drinking, that's really embarrassing. I know I did. I mean, that's kind of the nature of drinking. It's a disinhibitor. It makes you be impulsive and do things you normally wouldn't. That's the incentive for drinking. And, I think that I heard a woman that is truly regretful, but at the same time, I don't know if telling people that you've changed is as impactful as showing them.
What do you think
and it
she
takes
should
longer.
do? What do you think she should?
I think it'll be a long-term thing. When you're sober, you can say it, but after a while, people will know, and you'll just change. It won't be as quickly as it's like, okay, we're going to do this tour, apologize, and we're back to normal. It might be 2 years. It might be 4 years. But the more people see you, they'll look and they'll be like, that seems like a different person. And that's, I think, we'll see a slower shift than just like, I'm sorry, and everything's back to normal.
Right, and I hope she does. It seems like she is. It seems like she's putting in the work. We'll have to wait and see, to Al's point. So Angelina Jolie had an awkward exchange with a reporter. During an interview with Ppos, she was asked about her relationship with The Weeknd. The two have been spotted having dinner recently, but neither have confirmed that they are dating. So take a look at the interview.
So I have to know, were they more excited that you were in the Eternals or that you are friends with The Weeknd?
They're very excited about this film, if that's what you're asking. They're very excited about this film.
Angelina also opened up about her parenting style in the recent issue of People magazine. She said that she's not a perfect parent.
I am.
Al is, apparently, and often questions whether she's doing the right thing or not, but said her children's kindness has been very healing for her. So let's take it one thing at a time. What do you think of the awkward exchange with the reporter? It didn't feel that awkward.
It wasn't that awkward. What was awkward about it?
Dismissive, I think, would be the right word. She just didn't address it.
Well, she wanted to focus on the film.
But also, this would help folks on the film create a little.
Well, she did. She said Eternal. She plugged it.
I know, but like she could have. But The Weeknd, that's going to bring more. Oh, are they dating? Like she could have thrown a little like ambiguous.
Does she need to?
Yes.
I don't.
It's not like all the townspeople are talking about this movie.
All the townspeople.
It'll do fine, but it's not like Avatar 2 or something.
She completely ignored the question and deferred it. But I mean, who cares, right?
That's just an awkward thing all around, because chances are, I don't know who this reporter is, but it may not have even been their idea to ask the question. It's something that they wanted the answer to for this piece. And now you're in this super weird situation where it's like, I'm going to ask this question. I don't know how this person is going to respond. And then it's on you. So it's like she could have responded. I'm sure someone who wasn't an Angelina Jolie might have dangled that carrot. But Angelina Jolie has had all of her business in the street for decades at this point. I doubt that she needs to talk about The Weeknd.
But you have to ask that question.
As a reporter, to pull back, and we're not reporters, but to pull back that curtain, if you're interviewing somebody, you got to ask a question that might get some traction, so it gets out there a little bit more, right? So, and it's up to her to answer it the way she wants. She doesn't have to be rude about it. She could just kind of brush it off and move on, like a pro. That's what she did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So Paris Hilton is getting ready to walk down the aisle next month with her fiance, Carter Reum. Now, we have to look at some of their items in their wedding registry. Are you guys ready?
His name is Carter Reum?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sounds like expensive fabric.
It does. It does.
Like, don't sit on that. That's Carter Reum. Doesn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Just how rich people condescend you. Don't. That's you don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's Carter Reum. Don't you dare. Okay, so for $215, you can get the happy couple some ice tongs. Ice bucket is sold separately, of course. It's not included in the $215.
Why was tongs in quotes in the prompter?
Because it can mean other things, I guess.
I guess so.
I guess. Okay, so the silver candle holder will set you back. Are you ready? How much this silver candle holder? $1,220.
So it's like her mom's baccarat. Baccarat.
Oh, baccarat.
Yeah.
How about a crystal vase? This one is only $4,900. And if you're feeling a bit creative, there is this satin crystal limited edition greyhound sculpture.
I like that.
$3,650. Or if that's out of your budget, you can pick up a gold butterfly for $200. What a steal.
Yeah.
Are you surprised that she has a registry when she probably has everything under the sun? Why does she need a registry?
I don't know. I really don't. I went to a wedding that was a multi-million-dollar wedding, and I worked, apart from my full-time job, I worked Friday night bartending and Saturday afternoon before the wedding just to get a gift card, because the cheapest thing on there was like a fork for $250. So, yeah, I don't understand.
What do you think the thinking behind that is, though? Is that to shame your guests?
I don't understand. Why would you do that?
You guys wouldn't have that. None of you guys would have that on your registry.
Registry.
I don't think it's to shame. I would would not have a wedding registry either. Why don't you donate to this charity? That's what I would say. Or just come and you're the gift, whatever it may be. But I don't think that she's shaming people. I think they live in a bubble. This is their world. All their friends and family are
But that $200
rich.
butterfly was
$200 to them means nothing.
That's what I'm saying. So if you come with the butterfly, you're like, okay, you're in that category. You can't show up with that butterfly. Yeah, but if you have a
It is
boss,
judgment. Yeah.
It is.
It's judgment on what you buy, how much you spend. It's how much you care in that world.
Will you tell her Christina Applegate really quickly?
Oh,
what? I love Christina Applegate.
I love Jeff's stories.
No, well, this is embarrassing, and it's kind of well,
Oh, the
I don't
Lance
know.
Bass?
Yeah,
Yes,
I went
yes.
to Lance Bass's wedding. I actually told you this earlier today because I was so embarrassed. But I went to Lance Bass's wedding, and I got, I don't know what you do at a celebrity wedding.
Neither do I.
Yeah, so I don't know. And I was waiting in line because it was like, it was very put together. And I brought this big box. I
What
forgot
was in there?
I think some sort of
Like a
kitchen
toaster?
appliance. Or something. I don't know. I'm so embarrassed.
A toaster oven?
And I'm waiting in line, and then Christina Applegate's behind me, and all these people are in line. I'm like, where's everybody's gifts?
Because they sent them.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I go inside and I go to my buddy Bob. I'm like, Bob, what's up, dude? I was out there for like 20 minutes holding this gift like a loser. And he's like, dude, you're supposed to like just send it to their house.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what do I do with this? And he's like, that's the table for the presents. There was not one. I put my giant box on there. I was like, oh my God. How
embarrassing.
I love that you brought a gift,
I love
though.
that you did too.
That's what's
Me
up.
too.
embarrassing.
Yep,
It was
I
embarrassing.
love it. Okay, so before we go, the CEO of Spanx surprised her staff recently. Sarah Blakely celebrated selling a majority stake of her company for $1.2 billion by giving her staff 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world. But that's not all. Watch.
If you go on a trip, you might have to you might want to go out to a really nice dinner. You might want to go out to a really nice hotel. And so, with everybody's 2 first-class tickets to anywhere in the world, you are each getting $10,000.
Oh, that makes me emotional. It's so important to treat your employees who help build that company and share the wealth with them, because without them, you wouldn't be able to sell it for $1.2 billion. Kudos to her. Kudos to Spanx.
I think that that's a valuable lesson that a lot of corporations could learn. If you show that you have your employees' best interests and you want to see them do well and thrive, they will produce for you. Like all of this reverse psychology of treating people like crap, I grew up and my parents would have people who would have big parties and stuff. That's part of the reason why I do it, is because I think that if you can come together as a community, even though you're coworkers, then it just makes everything go so much better. So I think that this is a really great example of what can happen.
Well said. Coming up on DBL, the search for a California woman goes cold, but investigators reopen the case decades later. How justice could finally be found in today's True Crime Chronicles.
Closed captioning provided by
Yeah, so I love that story too about the Spanx woman, just because it's like, man, she started that business in her garage, right? And she climbed the ladder financially, the corporate world, started her own business, gave other people livelihoods, and then she gave back, right? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help people up on your way up that are up there already, and you help people up that ladder. And that's what she's doing. She's up on top, and she's helping people up that ladder. That's what you're supposed to do with success. Not take advantage of it, not abuse people with it. You're supposed to help the next person coming up the ladder.
And you know what? It actually motivates your workers.
Yeah.
She sees them as people that got her to where she is, so she's rewarding them. She's like, thank God I was able to sell this company because of you all. Here's your reward. But that also is very, some people that think, I guess selfishly, that is a very, what am I trying to say? What's the word where you're investing in your people, but you're actually getting the result?
Savvy business move?
No.
Gratifying? Because it's got to be gratifying for her, too, to give back.
But it also is getting the result that you want. Like to Erica's point, some people will think the result that I want is to make more money.
I'm waiting for you to pull out a line that
I don't
is
know
not
what's
it.
happening here.
It's a mutual investment.
What's good for the goose is ganders.
I'm saying even if you're a selfish person, you get the reward back
Right.
because
It's mutually beneficial. There's an investment. So it's not
spanking a hand.
It's not just a you do the work and you get paid. It's like you put more effort into it, help the company grow, and then you get a residual benefit after that, which a lot of companies don't think that way. And my husband worked for a company that was very much that way. And as a result, they had a lot of success. And so what we try to do, like for our, as employees and as people who have businesses, is like do things for other people to keep the morale up so that people want to produce.
Okay, Erica.
Oh, it's me?
Welcome back to DBL. No federal database tracks the number of missing Native American women in this country. Estimates range from 116 to as many as 5,000 women who have vanished without a trace. Today, we're shining a light on just one of those cases, the disappearance of Susan Robin Bender. That's today's True Crime Chronicles.
It's April 25th, 1986. Susan Robin Bender is waiting at the 10th and G Street Greyhound bus depot in Modesto, California. Susan plans to travel to Carmel by the Sea, a small coastal town about 120 miles west of Modesto, to meet up with her friends for the day. But in moments, her life will change forever.
We hung out a lot. We would bike ride. We would walk. We would do a lot of stuff together.
Susan is at a payphone making a phone call. In her luggage, Susan has packed her diary, an address book, and some clothes. But instead of boarding a bus bound for Carmel, she is seen climbing into a full-size green van. The van drives off, and Susan Robin Bender vanishes.
We had hope that she would be found alive in some way.
Police begin searching for her, knowing that the next 24 hours are critical in missing persons cases. However, Susan's disappearance makes little to no national headlines. And the following day, on April 26th, the Soviet nuclear power plant at Chernobyl explodes. In the months that follow, this disaster dominates global attention as news agencies around the world obsess over the cleanup. But in Modesto, California, Susan's family finds no relief. Police track down a suspect, but they don't publicly identify him to the press, despite discovering Susan's diary, address book, and clothes at the suspect's house. And ultimately, authorities make no arrest nor file any charges. Susan is slowly forgotten, and her case goes cold. However, in October 2021, California's Modesto Police Department makes a surprising announcement. They reopen Susan's 35-year-old cold case and reignite hope that one day, Susan Robin Bender may finally find justice.
I can't call it closure because I don't think you get closure. You just get some type of justice.
Susan was just 15 years old when she disappeared. Today, she would have been in her 50s. Earlier, we caught up with Madison Wade, a reporter at ABC 10 in Sacramento, California. Here's what she had to tell us. Madison, thanks for taking the time to chat with us about Susan's disappearance. Why has Modesto PD reopened the case?
So they have looked at cases throughout the history of their cold case unit to try to find ones that are solvable. And this is one that stood out to the Modesto Police Department. When we pressed them on exactly why they're reopening this case, they weren't able to give us much more details, probably for a good reason. And we don't want to jeopardize what that might be. But they did tell us that they identified some potential areas of opportunity which may lead them to a possible suspect and moving this case forward. This includes advancements in technology, probably genetic genealogy as well. And they also were saying that they could have more information about some individuals that were previously unidentified that could be part of Susan's disappearance that they haven't spoken to yet. So again, putting this out into the media, into the local news always helps, brings in a lot of tips. I know from my series Unsolved California, anytime we do a story on any case, every single department, police agency gets hundreds of tips from people. So we do know that that is a tool our local police departments like to use.
There are so few details about Susan's disappearance. Why do you think her case has gotten so little attention?
It's a great question, and one we actually asked Modesto police as well. And again, it's been 36 years now, so it's hard to say exactly why there wasn't so much media attention at the very beginning when this happened. It could be her age. She was 15 years old. As we know now in the news media, when we hear of a 15-year-old missing, it's, well, were they at risk? Are they running away from something? Was this their own decision? So that could be playing into it. It also could be her background, you know, the fact she was a Native American descent as well. We do know missing white woman syndrome is a real thing. We just saw that with the Gabby Petito case, and that is still ongoing. We actually talked to a criminologist, Zach Summers, who published a study about the missing white woman syndrome. And he said and found that white girls and women make up a third of America's population, and they were the subject of half of the news stories that they examined.
During their initial investigation, the police found Susan's belongings at the home of the suspect, but no arrest was ever made. I find that problematic. Can you tell me why?
Absolutely. And I wish I had a very clear answer as to why. But what we do know is that her diary, her address book, some other items, personal items, she had a bracelet on at the time that she was taken, a gold bracelet. So some other items we don't exactly know. Some clothing were also located at the suspect's home after she vanished. Now, this person has been cleared. They were never arrested as part of this investigation because of a lack of evidence. Again, 36 years ago, that is a long time ago when DNA evidence wasn't that pertinent. Of course, now we know DNA evidence is the key to solving so many of these cases. So it is quite possible that that person they were looking at initially when they found some of her items, they're looking at again. And we just don't know. We don't want to jeopardize the case. You know, Modesto Police is reopening this case for a very good reason. And that is possibly one of the biggest reasons.
Well, I mean, we certainly appreciate your efforts in this case. I know that we are blasting this everywhere because we want people to jog their memories. We want people to come forward if they have any information. Madison, thank you so much for chatting with us and for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
Since reopening her case, Modesto PD has reported no new developments. Anyone with information about Susan can call the Modesto Police at 209-342-9104. But for now, it seems Susan's disappearance will remain unsolved. We'll be right back.
We all know.
When it comes to mass shootings, there is no universally accepted definition of a mass shooting. Different agencies define it based on different criteria. USA Today reports from 2006 to 2018, Idaho and Hawaii were the only states in the country to not have a mass shooting. But how did they determine that? What constitutes as a mass shooting? And does Monday's deadly mall shooting change those findings? Let's verify. Our sources are the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Congressional Research Service, and the Violence Project, as well as news magazine Mother Jones. The Congressional Research Service defines mass shootings as a multiple homicide incident in which 4 or more victims are murdered with firearms, not including the offender or offenders within one event. The FBI definition is essentially the same. The agency defines a mass shooting as any incident in which at least 4 people are murdered with a gun. Mother Jones tracks mass shootings in a national database using FBI data dating back to 1982. But Mother Jones also includes attacks dating from January 2013, in which 3 or more victims were killed. This after President Obama authorized a mandate lowering that baseline to 3 or more victims killed for federal investigations of mass shootings. Additional criteria for mass shootings state the shootings happen in a single location that is considered a public place. So while Monday's deadly shooting at the Boise Town Square Mall won't be logged as a mass shooting, based on this criteria, it will forever be seen and felt as a tragedy here in Idaho.
Welcome back to DBL. It is open enrollment season, and we have some tips to make it easy, so it's time for some helpful healthcare tips presented by Health Markets. Let's start simple. Hmos and Ppos are 2 types of popular health plans. HMO plans tend to have a strict network of providers that your insurance will cover, while PPO plans will cover costs of out-of-network providers. And finally, deductibles and premiums are separate costs that come out of your pocket. Premiums are the monthly payment you make for your plan, and the deductible is the maximum out-of-pocket expenses that you're responsible for before your insurance kicks in. So finding a plan with a lower deductible could actually save you a lot of money. Health Markets help you find a plan in minutes, so just call 800-390-9633 or log on to healthmarkets.com. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Programs have launched or are about to start in Arlington and Alexandria. Even DC has looked at it, so let's get you familiar with Universal Basic Income. To understand Universal Basic Income, or UBI, we went to Ben Gittes, an associate director from the Bipartisan Policy Center's Economic Policy Project. We went to Elaine Mogg, a researcher from the Tax Policy Center at the Urban Institute, and then several studies on UBI in the real world. So first, what is Universal Basic Income?
So basic income is the idea that every person in the country will have some standard of living provided to them.
So instead of having a number of different programs folks would go to, there would be one check that goes out to every single person. That would be their source of federal or government support.
The idea is that universal basic income could soften the burden of the rising costs of living in the United States and actually encourage more work. Which is another question a lot of people ask. Wouldn't that just discourage people from working if they're getting free money? Here, our experts disagree. Ben Gittes says UBI's goal is to get more people into the workforce and build careers, but
universal basic income at best does not help us achieve those objectives because we're simply giving people money.
While Elaine Mogg sees something else.
In Stockton, they found actually the benefit encouraged people to go to work, even though it wasn't based on work.
Which leads us to, does it work? Currently, the largest study was a 2-year program in Stockton, California. Here, the city gave an extra $500 a month to 125 residents for 2 years.
And what they found is that people who got the full benefit were more likely to increase the work hours.
But
there haven't been really any large-scale implementations of a universal basic income that would be insightful for U.S. federal policy for implementing that.
Which is why the pilot programs in Arlington, Alexandria, and now Montgomery County will be so important going forward. Today, the city of Chicago will be voting on one of the largest universal basic income programs. If it passes, 5,000 families will get an extra $500 a month. But as you heard our experts explain, that's the only way to really see if these programs work because everything else is theoretical until it hits the real world. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
Tomorrow on DBL, Fear the Walking Dead star Jenna Elfman is here live, talking about her big break and how she wanted Dharma and Greg to end. And magician Matt Franco's tricks will blow your mind. He reveals his most embarrassing moment on stage. That's tomorrow on DBL.
AGT, right?
Huh?
Was he on AGT?
Oh, are you a big AGT fan?
I am. I like that guy.
All right. He recognized him from America's Got Talent. Not everybody knows that's what AGT
It's
means.
showbiz talk.
Thanks for the inside scoop. That's